home interactive weekly GeekCon, all blended with wit, sarcasm, and a pub-like atmosphere. We're adults talking about adult topics and using adult language. We laugh and make jokes about almost everything. We don't intend to upset, but some folks have their feelings sarcasm, and this is all done in humor in the style of the great offenders such as George Carlin, Red Fox, Lenny Bruce, Richard Pryor, Robin Williams, Wanda Sykes, Sam Kinison, George Lopez, Lisa Lampanelli, Chris Rock, and others. So grab your vice of choice, sit back, relax, and get ready to enjoy yourself in the company of great people, hot toddies, and guests alike, because here we come.
Put that long day behind you. Good times lie ahead. With company worth keeping, that'll bash a smile on your head. Come on in, the door's open. You'll find just the finest folks here. Pull up a chair, grab a drink, and lend our stories your ear. Cause we're the talk the tavern. Here you're always welcome. The talk the tavern. Promising beer and bedlam. The talk the tavern. Music, medicine, then some. The talk the tavern. The song's over. Here we come.
And welcome to Tuesday, April 24th episode of Talk the Tavern. Tunesday with Ray. Work with me here.
Dafrico.
Make sure. I was going to try, man. Don't ruin it.
I'm just gonna head you off at the pass.
I got it right early. I tried for 2 in a row, but it's probably best if you just stepped in anyway. Okay, let me do intros. We're going to introduce the beautiful, delightful co-host of my life and my show, Andrea, which has a very similar last name, D'Amico, but totally pronounced differently, and has some different letters. It sounds not
Italiano.
Okay, my vice today is coffee and a plate of bacon.
Wow.
Bacon's a good vice. Yeah. Okay, and then our special guest today, the man who's really, I want to say one thing about him, the support, the retweets, the sharing of the event by people he knows speaks a ton for his popularity, likability, talent. One of the three, maybe not all three, I don't know, but we have Ray here with us. So, Ray, why don't you tell folks a little bit about what you do, who you are, and why you give it to him, or something.
Well, thanks for the intro, and I really dug the intro music. I don't know who did that, but it was...
That is Mark Rossmore, who is down in your area in Atlanta somewhere. He has a band. He also did a whole website dedicated to steampunk music, supporting the other bands in his community.
Cool. Well, my name is Ray Dafrico. I'm a guitar player, rock and roll guitar player, songwriter, singer, songwriter. I've been doing this since I was 17 years old, inspired initially by the Partridge Family, which is probably way before everyone's time, maybe not. People are like, wow, that's why you started playing? And I was like, yeah, initially. And then got into the Rolling Stones and punk music and whatnot. And here I am and still doing it. And got invited to do the show, which is an honor. And never done one of these, but I think it's pretty cool.
We're a little bit different from... Hey, by the way, Madam Perry is watching us right now. Good to see you. Oh, you know what? My vices today. You got any vices, Ray? What do you got for your vices? Anything good?
Well, my vices today, I have in the past have more vices, but we'll leave those out. Currently, I have orange juice. This is stuff that's really horrible for you. And a bag of potato chips, which are even worse for you.
Pretty hardcore then, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad we don't let kids watch. Yeah,
I know.
And for me, what do I got? I
haven't had time to get... Yeah, I haven't got any other vices right at the moment.
The day is young.
Yeah, I know. There's time.
I'm two-fisted drinking with some coffee and some brandy.
Yeah, look at you going.
Got water over here, too. And I think I'm going to finish a cigar that I didn't finish last night, which is a La Gloria Cubana Series R Black. It's a good cigar. We'll see second day, though. Sometimes not the same. Let's do an opening toast here. Hey, here's to the music of the past that makes the music of the present.
All right. I'm late on that, but
that's okay. It's a
virtual toast, so
that's why I like clink the glass with something. It's when we were just radio, we would have people who thought we were all in the same room because we would clink something against our glass, so they thought we were all together.
That's pretty cool.
Now with video, if they think that, well, apparently they just need to lay off something that they're doing, because we could just have you guys reach towards the middle of the screen so it looks like you're clinking glasses in the very center.
There you go.
There you go.
Like what you're split screen on me, so I'm like,
I know. I don't know if I toast to the left or the right.
Just making me dizzy.
All this modern technology, huh?
Yeah, I'm catching up though. Bear with me.
You're doing great, man. We're having a good time.
Cool.
At least. We're amused by your confusion. We're good.
Hey, I'm writing that one down.
We're amused by your confusion.
That's the next CD.
Yeah, well, we both know about writing things down. Otherwise, we're not going to remember it next time, right?
Yeah.
It's at least as a rocker, you could blame that on your history of exciting frivolity. Me, I was never. Yeah, I just got like, I got a lot on my mind. That's why I forget things.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I had a lot of things to make me forget, So
good times cloud the memory.
Natural, loud music. I don't know.
There we go. It's
maybe it was just the way I am, but
we just like to call it a full life.
There you go. Well, the thing with me is I can remember when I was a kid, and then it's just a big empty area, and now I'm my age. So, I don't know what happened in that.
Then there's from last Thursday to now.
Yeah, the short term is horrible. So
it's good times.
But yeah. Well, I'm here to promote my new CD.
Okay, let's go to Pimp That.
Tunnel Vision. Yeah, I'm putting it up. Is it on? Yeah,
it's on. You got it.
This is a picture of me. This is recorded in New York City, where I was originally from, and a selfie in the East Village, and then I put it in Photoshop and made it spin a little bit because that's how I was feeling, and I was holding my head, and it was cold, and we were recording. I was in a really bad mood, so I'm in a better mood now. But that was, and the title comes from the tunnels of New York and whatnot, so just kind of tied it in. But this is available on my website and CD Baby and a lot of other things.
Does the album have a whole?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Andrea.
I was going to say, I put the website for Ray up in the chat, so click on it and check him out.
And share it around. Guys, grab that link, throw it up on Facebook, Twitter, wherever you hang out on this social interweb. So, Ray, does the album have like a whole New York feel or theme to it or anything?
Yeah, it didn't start out that way. I mean, we were just going up there to record at the studio, but it started feeling like a New York kind of thing, and I needed an artwork and a title, and it just kind of came together. I was like, well, this is going to be kind of a New York record. So, and some of the songs like Coney Island Eyes are obviously are New York reference, and so I just thought it was a good way to go with it. So, yeah.
I agree. It's listening to your music, and you and I just met not too long ago, so listening to the bit of music I could. Yeah, you definitely have... and I went to like a Facebook page to see how you describe it, so I don't describe it wrong. But for me, it is somewhere between 70s rock, a touch of late 80s, early 90s punk, and then it's kind of tied together with what feels like your personality. It's kind of laid back, but it's got an underlying tone of, I don't know, reality.
Reality and angst. Yeah, that's pretty spot on. Yeah, I couldn't describe
at our age.
Myself. Yeah.
I thought that was a teen thing.
Kind of 70s, yeah, I was a 70s kid, so obviously very influenced by the 70s. I can remember the 60s a bit when I was a little kid, but that's when I grew up listening to most of the music, and then like you said, early 80s.
Jimi Hendrix meets Partridge Family and parties together.
Exactly. Partridge Family were great. They had, I don't care what anybody says, they had some great songwriters, as did the Monkees. But there's a guy named Tony Romeo, and like no one knows who he is, but he wrote the best songs. I know. And then they had, the Hal Blaine and all the session guys playing all that stuff. So I must have had an ear for it when you have these great musicians. Of course, I didn't know when I would read like did Danny really play the bass? It would totally confuse me, you know. I was like, who are these other guys? I thought he played the bass, you know. So
I love musical theater, especially when it's on the small screen, where I can sit at home and enjoy it and whatever I want to wear. And we don't really have any shows like Partridge Family and Monkeys, or they never really hit mainstream for besides a few shows here and there. Man, how come we can't do that? Because they were like a variety show, comedy, music, all put together with a loosely threaded sitcom plot.
Somebody needs to start that.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
Ray, what are you doing next week? You should do this.
Actually, I'm trying to do a Partridge Family cover tribute band. I'm not a fan of tribute bands because I'm like, well, you either see the real thing or you don't. You missed it. But I'm like, Partridge Family tribute band. I mean, that's cool because, you know.
Yeah.
So if anybody, musicians out there look like any of the Partridge Family, you need to get in touch with me, okay? You've got a red velvet. That's part of the thing. Frilly shirts. So I've gone public with this now. I'm going to have to do it.
There you go. You know what? Maybe you should start haunting the Ren Fair. So already have the frilly shirts and be good with acoustic.
I didn't think of that. They're probably all over the place.
I bet you. And a lot of them, they
and it's the season for it.
It's true.
That's right.
Ren Fair season is kicking in. When is the Georgia one? It's not too... I saw a post recently.
Soon, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, somebody I know is going to be there, and I want to say it's in the next few weeks or something.
Yeah.
You have to keep an eye out.
Spring or fall, I know that. Maybe they have two of them. I haven't been in a while, so.
It's at 19, I started performing at Renaissance fairs, and I actually did have a musical pirate band at one point in time.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's a
like
wonder.
The one on that commercial, the credit.com. What band was that? They were great.
I don't know. I have to look that one up. We don't have regular TV here because we're so busy with other stuff.
I've seen it. It's great.
Is it? Do you know what band it is?
Oh, yeah. It's all over YouTube.
Okay. Yeah, it was a while ago when it was on actual TV.
Let's see here. And that's the What's in Your Wallet? Who is that? Who's that?
Yeah.
Capital One. Capital One Pirate Commercial Band. I'm using the Google. So let's see if we can figure out what band this is.
I'm using the Google.
Are you? Grand Canyon Vikings? No? No?
And I think they did one in a fast food restaurant, too. They did variations of it. I don't know if they were still pirates, but...
I don't know.
They went all over with this idea. It caught on, and they ran with it, you know.
I am not seeing a name of the band in this. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but I'm just curious if I can find that. His band, God Against God? Is that the...
I don't know. A friend of mine has a crush on the lead pirate singer, so that's all I know. And I don't even know why I thought that came to mind.
Oh, perhaps because you thought I had talent.
Because you were in the pirate band.
Yeah,
okay, that's right.
I did not actually have any talent. I was surrounded by people with talent.
That way. Yeah.
Sometimes, isn't it true?
Yeah. No talent can take you many places.
Yeah, I was what I am right now, right this very second. This is what I did well. The other people had the musical talent. I just got to go along and bring down the quality. I do that anyway.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
So let's see here. Well, okay. What I'd like to do right now is I want to Give It a Try, which is the opening song on your new CD there, Tunnel Visions. Is that correct?
Yeah. This is kind of sounds like T-Rex, speaking of more 70s music, but to me anyway, has that kind of feel.
Okay.
But give it a try.
Then we could talk about it a little bit afterwards. Now, Ray, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to mute myself because if we talk, we will talk over your music, which you as the artist, if you want to jump in and start talking, we'll follow your lead.
I'm going to rap over it. I'm going to do a rap.
Really? Somebody's present?
No, I'm not going to.
No? Yes,
Hey, it's a freecreditreport.com pirate band. I'm going to put the link in the chat for everybody.
So they made their own pirate band? That's crazy. Ray needs a pirate band. Okay, so here's Give It a Try. Enjoy, guys, and don't forget, you can get it at the link in the chat there.
Sometimes we can stand each other. Sometimes we look the other way. Sometimes we don't even bother. Sometimes everything's okay. I know you got a lot of reasons not to. You're looking for a reason why we should give it a try. We're gonna give it a try.
Wow, that is a groovy tune.
That is. It's any shout outs you want to give for anybody that was performing on that or where you recorded?
Sure. Actually, on bass is a guy named Toby Marriott, who's son of Steve Marriott, who was in the Small Faces and Humble Pie. He lives in Georgia. His dad met a woman here in the 70s and fell in love, and they're always saying, what was he doing in Georgia? And that's what he was doing.
Georgia.
And they had Toby, and Toby lives here, and now he plays with me. And he also had his own band called The Strays a while back. They had like a major label deal, and they toured with the Buzzcocks. And he's a great guy. He's a great player, and looks just like his dad, and talks like his dad.
Hopefully he likes his dad, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, and he's got his own thing going on, though, so it's cool. But
Beautiful.
Drummer named Brian Roberts. It was really done as a 3-piece, and the studio was down in the East Village. Can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but like the Flesh Tones recorded there, and a bunch of people, a lot of garage kind of rock bands, and it was underneath a cookie shop, so it was like 1,000,000 degrees. You go down.
Did it smell good?
It did. It smelled very good, but you were so hot that you weren't thinking about the smell. You were just hot. And
you ever think that maybe the room wasn't hot? It was hot because you were in it.
Well, there's something to be said for that, but between me and the band, cooking and the cookies, it was just,
You
we
get
were sweating a lot.
You get a temperature discount.
Yeah, I have to look into that. So yeah,
It's
but
mhm.
it's a cool place.
Now with you on that track there, you did vocals and lead guitar. Is that correct?
Yeah, and rhythm guitars. There's a couple guitars on there, but yeah.
So you recorded a few tracks to put into that one.
Yeah, I mean, generally when you record, you beef them up a little bit and
Right.
add things, because you're recording, It's
Now
like,
when you're recording, and you said you got a rhythm guitar, a lead guitar, and then vocals, and these are three things you did on that one song, correct?
I believe so. Yeah,
Okay.
well, most of the songs, depending on the song, but
So what do you tend to record first? So when you do the playback in your headset, you have that. Do you do vocals last? How do you build that?
well, there's different ways you can do it, but we cut that all live. So the band was all actually in the room playing. It was
Oh,
a
okay.
tiny room. And then, you do scratch vocals and you can go in and redo them and add whatever you want. But basically, that's the band playing live. In
Okay.
fact, the one problem I had with this was there was no isolation as in most studios. We were basically on top of each other, and the drummer was hitting the hi-hat so loud that's all we could hear. We
Right.
were like, oh my God. So that's a little overbearing in the mix. I was trying to pull that out, but
I
it
didn't
is what it
notice you
is.
did good. It's okay.
Yeah, I shouldn't bring attention to it, but
Now, as on a show like this where we can discuss the creativity process and how it worked. No, it's absolutely valid to bring it here. Just don't mention it live on. When you're handing somebody a CD, don't tell them. You'll be okay.
the hi-hat's too hot.
Yeah.
They might not know what I'm talking about. So
They'll
they'd
just
be like,
"Yeah,
what
baby,
does that
it's
mean?
hot."
Yeah.
Did I wear
No,
the wrong
I
hat?
mean, it's good because it's raw, and that's what what we sound like. It's like, because the other side of the coin is like people that go in and overproduce it so much to where they don't even sound like that live.
Right.
So it's like, oh well, that's a great recording, but you can't recreate it on stage.
We've all seen those bands, and there is nothing worse than I remember seeing bands, and they had some track, or like a sax track, which was pre-recorded because it's on, the album, but it's not on stage. And I'm almost like, maybe even do it without the sax for this. Give us don't give us a pre-recording. Of course, that was the same band that leaned in the audience with the mic with the screaming crowd, and you didn't hear a single screaming person coming across the mic. I'm like, oh well, they're lip syncing tonight. They just, they turn their mic live when they're up there announcing the next song. They turn it off when the people start to sing because they're just pressing play in the back. I'm guessing.
No, I would do that, but it's just too confusing. I can't even use guitar pedals like people use these 20 pedals. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
That would just ruin me for the night. I wouldn't know which one to hit, and then the chords would all come out. I'm straight into the amp, old school,
Keep it simple.
I mean, technology is good for people that know how to use it, put it that way.
Now, Andrea, did we have a question over here?
We did. Madam Perry would like to know, what would you call your Partridge Family tribute band?
Oh, well, I was going to call it Danny Says, but apparently there's a film out about Danny Fields, who managed the Ramones and Iggy Pop and the Stooges, called Danny Says. And I was really mad that, you come up with this idea and then somebody else puts it out like a month before you, and you're like, So
She also asked, so who'd take the part of, if you could pick anybody, who would take the part of Jimmy Partridge?
Jimmy?
For the Jimi
Was there a
Hendrix.
Jimmy?
Well, no, Jimi
Oh.
Hendrix and the Partridge
You're
Family
adding
blend.
that.
Yeah. We're creating shit out
I don't
of nothing.
know. That's a good question. I mean,
Who
like
do you
I
know?
said, I'm reaching out to the audience here to see.
Well, if you could
all the
call anyone
musicians.
you've seen, heard, or know, and go, hey, be here Tuesday, we're doing this. Who would it be? Who would you pick?
Should be the guitar player, Jimi Hendrix guitar player. I don't know. Paul Westerberg, maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to think of people I know or have met before.
Or that you heard, if you just had the magic phone that lets you call. I guess we'll stick with living, though. Let's stick with living. We can.
Living people who are living.
Yeah.
God, all
You
my
don't
friends
go.
are dead. So that leaves.
I have seen a book with that exact title. It has a dinosaur on the front with like a single tear, and the book's name is All My Friends Are Dead.
I think there's some famous thrift store record like that, like a religious record that I get on these sites that my daughter actually gave me a book, The Most Horrific Album Covers Ever. And I couldn't even get halfway through it without, I was in tears laughing so hard at some of them. And that entertained her. And now, so every time she comes over, she wants me to get that book out and recreate me doing that. I'm like, I can't recreate it. It was real.
You know what? Next time she shows up, here's what you do. And she goes, "Oh, pull out the book, recreate that." Go, "No, I've got something else. We're going to recreate the album covers. Get dressed." And then yeah. And then you make.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. Then you put it on your Christmas cards and you send it out.
I do a lot of photography, so that's like that.
Right up your alley.
I'm writing that down now too. It's like, give me all these ideas,
It's the one talent I actually have, inspiring other people to do something. Usually it's leave the room.
That is a talent. That's a good thing. But
Madam Perry, do me a favor. Why don't you post a link into the chat for everybody so they can find you all. So Madam Perry is the wonderful woman who introduced Ray and I, as well as supporting so many other artists out there. And she's got a delightful little podcast that brings in a huge variety of talent and interesting folks. So show her some love and support her too, and give us a link there, Madam Perry. So let's see.
She's great.
She is fun, isn't she?
Yeah, I go on the show a lot, and
yeah, you said you're almost a regular or something there, aren't you?
well, that's what she says. She's like, hey, Ray's gonna be on. I'm like, hey, this is your show. you do this. I go on to support though, because it's entertaining. It's fun.
It is. It's a good time.
She's a good guest on. But
let's see here. Well, you definitely have a unique sound. I like that about yours because you can feel influences and pulls from it, but it's not. You're not mimicking any one particular person, band, or thing, and it's. My cat is literally climbing the wall.
My music has affected them in a bad way. They're climbing the walls.
It's good when the fans are climbing the walls, isn't it?
That's right. I don't know about the animals, but that's right.
They were an okay band.
Yeah, that's one of my main influences, actually.
There you go.
Yeah. The first band I was in was called the Night Porters, and we were like teenagers, like literally. We had a little garage band, and we actually got to be pretty well known. And we opened for the Clash and the Ramones and all these people, and toured with the Replacements. And I'm dropping a lot of names here, but we did a lot. This is early '80s, and we did a whole lot in a short time frame. Anytime anyone mentions the Animals, it brings me back to, because one of the first songs we learned was an Animal song. Before we were writing our own things, we would do. It was a weird mix of covers. It was like Doors songs and the Animals and Sex Pistols and Devo. It was just like.
See, I like that though, but I'm eclectic and I'm all over the place. So I like it when a band can show more than. Now I'm a writer also, and it frustrates me when anybody says stick to one genre, because I love to explore different things. And musically, I feel like a band should be able to do more than one thing. Business-wise, I get why it's not the best idea, but creatively, I'm like, yeah, do whatever you want, man. Come on, explore the space.
That's pretty much what we did, yeah. And one of our first shows, we played at VFW for a friend's wedding. I mean, we were like 17, and it was pretty bizarre. And I can remember somebody driving their car into a dumpster after it.
Well, hopefully that wasn't in response to your performance.
No, it had to do with them drinking, which I wouldn't advise. I'm not telling people to go do that, but this is somebody else that did this.
Not him.
But
It's his
it
other
wasn't me.
personality.
I was busy playing this wedding. I think I was playing bass, and I had a black turtleneck, and I looked like somebody in a '60s band,
Nice.
Beetle boots. Yeah.
Turtlenecks, huh? What do you think of turtlenecks?
I have mixed feelings about turtlenecks, but I liked it when the Beatles wore them about 1966. They looked really cool. But other than that, I don't know. Some people can pull it off,
I feel like turtlenecks are the El Camino of the clothes world.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I've never thought of that.
yeah. El
actually.
Caminos were just this weird car pickup truck, not really any. And the turtlenecks, they've got this extra thing that you're like, I kind of like it, and I don't know why, but it's a little irritating.
Well, going back to the 70s when I was growing up, they had these things. I guess turtlenecks were so popular, they had these like fake turtlenecks that only went down to
The
here.
Dickies.
And you'd put them on. They were Dickies.
Yeah.
And what a great name. It's like, let's call it a Dickie.
That is my family name.
Oh, well, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Mr. Dickie.
Oh, well, no, my family's not mine. But my mother was born Ada Dickey.
Really?
Yeah, my mother went by her middle name because her actual name was a dick joke.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty
Welcome to the show.
I've got nothing better now. You
Hold on, we've got a question from the audience. I'll get you out of this, man. Sorry about that.
Okay.
So Meta Perry says, I'd like to know. Okay, that was that. So you had a special female vocalist on this new CD. That it's not her. I think she wants to be on your next one. But
okay.
What female vocalist did you have? What track are we looking for when we do that one?
Well, she sang on let's see, Rejected, and a Rolling Stones cover song, and a rather obscure Rolling Stones song. It was the flip side of Jumpin' Jack Flash, called Child of the Moon. It's kind of psychedelic, and my old band used to cover it, but I always wanted to record it. And I was hearing this female voice for the other part to do a duet.
Mm-hmm.
And so Koch O'Riordan, who was in the Pogues, played bass in the Pogues and married to Elvis Costello. Yeah, she was in the movie Straight to Hell.
Mm-hmm.
We are Facebook friends, and I reached out to her. She spends a lot of time in New York, and I said, hey, we're in the city recording. You want to come down? Because we had talked about doing something before, and she said, sure, I'll be there in 10 minutes. So she came to the cookie factory and went down the crazy steep staircase. I was like, I hope she doesn't slip and get hurt, because they were kind of scary. And she just popped in and banged the songs out, and they were amazing. So, and I hadn't previously met her. We just had talked on Facebook, and
Mm-hmm.
she was really cool, and it went well, and it sounds great. And
so when you're recording, see, I have this concept in my head that sometimes raw is a better feel. So it doesn't have to be perfect, because that takes away the actual personality of the song and the band. But I've seen other people take 12 hours to record one song or more, multiple visits to get it right. What about you?
Yeah.
How quick do you lay down a track? Is it one take? Is it, 12 hours?
Well, I can put them down quickly. I demo all my stuff at home, so I kind of know what all is supposed to happen in my head. But the
Mm-hmm.
problem is, you can put them down, but if you don't, and this might be a problem with me, so if it doesn't sound like the way I hear it in my head, it just drives me crazy. So I can spend a lot of time trying to get that sound, which is like probably impossible to do. But I'm also, I like to cut things really quickly and spend a little bit of time mixing them. But at a certain point, if you're becoming Phil Spector and you're just like holding a gun to Johnny Ramone to get that one chord for 12 hours, then I'm, then it's time to say it's fine.
Right. Totally agree. And also, if you take that long in the studio, you're not going to sound like that on stage.
Exactly. And it's also going to cost you a lot of money, which
That's true.
Studio people tend to be like, they kind of like that. It's like lawyers. They're like, well, keep talking, and keep mixing, it's like, okay. And you get in a weird mind place where you don't know if it's right or not, you have to but ultimately what you do is you take it in the car and you drive around with it, and that's the best place to check music for me.
I like it.
Drive around in the car, full blast. I can tell if it's if you need to work on it more or not. Like, sometimes it's just like perfect.
Windows up or down?
Yeah. Well, it depends on if there's a lot of traffic, you put them down. Just blast that thing, annoy everyone. I don't know. It depends on the weather too.
That's true. Yeah, if it's really freezing, cold, windows up.
I would generally put them up, or raining. I don't know.
I got you. There's no wrong answer here, so there's no.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, did I answer it right?
Yeah,
I don't know.
We're writing this down. Shit. It's let's see here. Where are we at? Let's do another tune right now. You want some Coney Island Eyes? That sound good to you?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. Anything to say before we start, or you want to talk about it when we come back from it?
No, but this was inspired by a trip to Coney Island around 1986, and so I finally got around to recording it. 20, 30 years later?
Yeah, at least.
But Coney Island's a bizarre place, but it's appropriate to write a song about, I think. And anyway, yeah.
Have you been to it recently?
I haven't been recently. No. Have you?
No, but I've seen the changes they made. Yeah, it's definitely a different place now than it was in the 80s. So.
I caught the last of the bad or good, depending on.
How about last of an era? We'll do it that way.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So, okay, let's roll this, and we'll come back and we'll chit chat about it a bit.
Cool.
Russian
Listen to that. It definitely takes you back. It definitely has a feel. And I want to say this, and I mean this strictly in the complimentary way, because I don't know where your tastes lie in everything. So you almost have like the Beach Boys of punk feel, where you're kind of laid back and fun, but you're not the bright pop that Beach Boys was.
Right. I like that. That sounds good.
I'm glad it's not insulting.
This song to me. No. I mean, I would let you know if I was insulted, but I'm not. This song to me sounds like a mix of the Pretenders and the Who for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah,
which are two big influences, but yeah, I like the Beach Boys a lot too. Depending, like the earlier mid-period
Right.
Beach Boys stuff,
right?
like
Not
Brian
Cocktail.
Wilson, they kind of veered off because of Mike Love or whatever,
Right.
or whatever. I don't know.
So do
Yeah,
you?
not Cocktail.
No, not Cocktail. I love that song, but it doesn't feel like classic Beach Boys to me. It's more like that was something in my teens, so it's part of my cultural history.
Oh yeah, okay.
Didn't like the movie though. So do you find your musical tone has changed as you get older? It's a little less edgy, more laid back?
Not really. My voice has changed a little bit. I mean, it's gotten deeper. I can seem to sing lower than I
Right.
used to, but the as far as themes and stuff,
Mhm.
no. I mean, I'm like exactly the same person. Everybody tells me this. You're exactly the same person as when you were 18. I'm like, is that good or bad? It's like I'm
It is
proud
what it
that
is.
I've kept my values or whatever, but I don't, because I know a lot of people that were in bands when they were younger, and then it was like suddenly I have to grow up now and go have a family, and well, I did both. It's like I don't look at it like that. Oh, well, you stop and grow up. I mean, it's just something you love. It's like
You evolve, but not change.
yeah, exactly. I don't know. I mean, I still like the same kind of stuff I did then, and the thing with me is I like all kinds of stuff, but I know when I hear it if I like it or not, like right away.
I feel like you could do a
spontaneous
soundtrack.
kind of thing. I love to do soundtrack stuff. Yeah.
I could definitely
I-
see your music behind a nice period piece, something from the 80s and whatnot.
80s soundtrack, like I don't know.
Well, not
The
necessarily,
80s.
not a movie from the 80s, a modern movie set in the 80s.
Okay.
I feel like you could be the voice,
Of the 80s.
yeah, brought forward.
I have
because it's
mixed
got
feelings
both.
with the 80s. Like I prefer I prefer the early 80s to the later 80s.
When
just
grunge
kinda
started
like
rolling
seems
in.
split. Because they always say that the 70s ended in the early 80s, and then the 80s, late 80s ended in the early 90s. Like
Right.
it carries over.
It does a bit. It bleeds
I
over.
just remember there was big hair in the early 80s, but it got a lot bigger in the late 80s. I don't know what that means, but that's when you start having all those horrible White Riot White Lion, sorry.
I'm with you. The hair band, where they became formula
what were
bands
some of
instead of
those?
rockers.
Cinderella, yeah, and it seemed to go somewhere else, like the Beach Boys. I don't know where they went.
Yeah. It's people
But-
said the same thing about Metallica, where they changed and they weren't what they were, and so I guess it happens. You try to change with the times, and you become something you're not, or your fans don't change with you, and By the way,
Yeah.
Madam Perry says that sound rather T-Rex inspired, which I think you mentioned right before we played it. Did you?
I thought the first song, but
Okay.
a lot of them were T-Rex E. T-Rex E.
And she also asks, how did Ray...
Dinosaur, like, huh?
There's nothing wrong with good dinosaurs. They have feathers now. They finally figured out, T-Rex
Really?
looked like a huge chicken.
Their arms, they put them on backwards.
That's our theory. We think they were actually
That-
wings, and they should have been bent backwards instead of coming forward like little useless things. But anyhow, Madam Perry asks, how did Ray come up with his previous band names like Kathleen Turner Overdrive?
Oh, good question.
I feel like there's a story here.
Well, I wish there were. It's just the dumbest thing I could think of. I was like, Bachman Turner Overdrive and Kathleen Turner. I don't even know how I made that. It just seemed like, okay, this is really dumb. We should run with it. This is great. And it turned out to be true. Like, people know the band just for the band name,
Right.
And we actually wrote Kathleen Turner a letter to say, we're going to be using your name for some obscure punk band in Atlanta. Are you okay with that? And it turns out she's married to a guitar player who's also an attorney. And I think he wrote a letter like, sure, until you make money, then we get a cut or something. Good thing we never made any money.
Yeah, that's horrible. I mean, that's great that you didn't make any money.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if I don't know. But the one thing I do regret about that is not having asked Kathleen Turner to be in a video as Serial Mom, as doing a cameo, like Killing Us All or
That'd
something.
be great. I like her voice, too. I don't know if she sings or not, but she's got a good voice. Smoky.
Yeah. On my next record, she's going to be on it.
Sweet.
And Madame Perry. They're going to be the backup singers.
That'd be great. I see them in go-go dresses.
Let's see if I can make that happen.
Excuse me, I'm joking here.
So, yeah, that's the story behind that name. I don't really know where that came from.
No, Madame Perry.
Other than, I really love that song. I think one of the best songs of all time is "Taking Care of Business." I think that's really their only song. And Ain't Got Nothing Yet. But, I grew up with all this crap, so it sticks with you. And it makes you think up really weird band names, I think.
I like weird band names. They're memorable. And by the way, she asks, Ray, were you in a spandex big hair band?
No, I was not. I'm proud to say that I was always in authentic punk bands. I do know a lot of people that were in those that decided, I guess in the 90s, that they were going to fake it like they were punks all along and like suddenly look different. I'm not naming any names here. Anyone from Atlanta. See, this is like a thing. If anybody can guess who I'm talking about, you can send a little message or whatever you do.
Everyone else can express their opinion and guesses, but we didn't mean them.
Oh, no. That would be evil. Actually, I heard Mini-Me just died, but
that's correct,
the guy that played Mini-Me, yeah. That's sad. I'm just all over the place.
No, that's what the show is.
That's this show.
Yeah. Oh, you're doing it to me. God.
Yeah, Andrea actually did some research on Vern, and apparently he started out as a stunt double for babies. Look who's talking Baby now and stuff like that.
Baby's Day Out. Because I'm like, how did they get the baby to walk? They didn't. It was him.
Wow. That's crazy.
Can you imagine?
But it makes sense.
It does. Stunt double.
He was a little bit over 2 foot tall, so he was the right height.
Can
you imagine going to wardrobe and they're like, here's your diaper? What?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Your props are a baby bottle and a rattle. Have a good time.
Yeah.
Nowadays, if you see that in a video, it's usually on like Pornhub or something.
See, yeah. Somebody's getting paid to do it.
That's
Whatever.
True. That's right. They walk home with a paycheck of sorts. And hopefully not a reputation. So I wanted to ask, how often, after you cut an album, how often do you listen to your own music?
Not often, because I'm always writing new stuff. So I'm like, that's done. You just move on to the next thing.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times, like, especially after recording, the last thing you want to do is hear that song you just heard like 20 million times.
Right.
So you're like, sure, lock that up. And but then in retrospect, you like, I did an interview on a radio station here, and it was like, "This Is Your Life," and they played something weird from my long ago, and I was like they were playing a joke on me, and I go, that actually is really good. I like that. It was like, because I hadn't heard it in so long.
It's new again.
So, yeah, exactly. I was like, I kind of like that. But, yeah, it's weird because you always want to keep ahead of the curve and you keep writing new stuff. And
so how's
but
that?
then you have to, what's that? Well, then you have to show it to the band because, like, depending on who's playing with me, if they're new, you have to show them all the new stuff. So you're like, it's this constant, like, like I know all the new songs, but they don't know them yet, you know. So
Right. So what
Anyway.
about when you're doing a live performance? And now something I've always said about musicians, I think musicians tend to make good actors because they play the same song over and over and again. And they're often emotional songs, and they put that emotion into every performance they do. Thus, they're acting. And I think that bleeds over into acting. So what about when you go up on stage and you got to do that same song that you've just heard 20 million times? How do you pull up that emotion so you put it right back into it and have that feel to it?
I don't know. For me, it just kind of comes natural. It's like,
Just
you know,
clicks, huh?
okay, I'm doing it. You know, it's like on stage, I just like, it's different than recording. You know, you just go and you just bang it out. You know, it's like Joe Strummer said. He's like, and I think he learned from the Ramones. It's like, you know, people have things to do. You got to get your message out there quick. You know, you can't.
Sad but
so
true.
you go out there, you know, you bang the song out. You know, because you know people, they're not going to be there forever. You got to deliver. You know, so
Instant
that's where the
gratification.
emotion comes from me. That's what I got from punk rock is that, you know, no matter what the circumstances are, if you're playing to 20,000 people or 5 people in a living room, you just go and deliver that song, you know. And that's kind of how I approach every time I play live, you know.
Okay.
So that in itself is kind of like acting, you know. It's like kind of built into you. So, you know, you don't think about it. It's just there, you know.
Okay. How about a
But-
good story? You got a good story of something that happened at a live performance? Something crazy?
I've got a lot that I can't remember a lot of them. But,
You got a video clip we could play of something you don't remember?
I do remember Kathleen Turner Overdrive played to like some sold out show with these sort of pseudo after the fact punk bands like Rancid and Offspring, I think. And we were opening for them. And there was a kid with his fingers in his ears standing right in front of me the whole time. And I was really pissing me off. And it's like, I kept pointing to him, say, take your fingers out of your ears. I was like, are we that bad? You know? And I think at one point I reached down and like thwacked his nose or something. I did something or threatened to smash him in the head with my guitar and just some minor little thing. But I get emotional, like I was talking about on stage, and like Pete Townsend says, when you're performing, you're not the same person you are when you're off stage. So you do things that you might not, you're not really in control of yourself.
People don't realize the focus when you're on stage and how it affects people psychologically. You know, it takes from you and it gives to you and it influences you at that moment. Whereas, you're not you are somebody else up on stage, because a lot of us creative folks, we're actually very introverted. So when we get up and do this stuff, we put on our costume physically and emotionally, mentally. So you're a different creature up there.
Well, I don't know what it was. I didn't actually hit him with my guitar, but I was thinking about it. And anyway, security escorted me out or was waiting when we got off stage to kick me out of the club. And I was like, I'm the performer. You know, it's like, kick him out. I've got 100 stories like that. Like they'll just pop up.
As you think
I
of
thought
them,
that
throw
was
them out.
funny. I was like, come on, man. It's like, why don't you get up here and try performing instead of holding you? It's easy for you to sit in the crowd and you know, why don't you just leave if you don't like it?
Well, he wanted to save his space for the other bands.
That's right.
I'm not saying it justifies what he did, but I get it. If you're show a little courtesy to the artist, please.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't have to pay attention, but at least don't be rude.
It was just a weird thing to play to this one guy the whole night like that. I was like, stop doing that. It's really annoying.
You ever play a place? Go ahead. And sometimes what?
Well, you know, on the other hand, like sometimes at concerts, like when people are so into you, they point to you. Mm-hmm. They're like, you're rocking.
Nice.
I find that distracting too. I'm like, it just throws me off. Like, stop pointing at me. I'm not like Sticks or something. It's like, why are you pointing at me? I don't know. I can't think now. You ruined my day.
So it's okay to point at Sticks?
They mean it in a, huh?
It's okay to point when you want. Go ahead.
They mean it in a flattering way, but to the performer, it can throw you off. It's like, why are you pointing? I don't know.
So you ever been at one of those things where you're playing and you're just background, like nobody's paying attention to the band at all? It just like, you might as well be elevator music for the crowd.
Oh yeah,
gotta hate that.
We played to a sorority party at a Holiday Inn at this little town, and we had to do cover songs, and we just agreed to it because they were paying us a lot of money, and you can only imagine what it was like. It was like a bunch of sorority girls and us playing anything we could think of. It was pretty bizarre, but that's what I'm talking about. Like, you play long enough, and you've played in the proper clubs. Like, I played at the Fillmore opening for the Ramones, which is like best you've ever been treated, and you're like a rock star. And then I played in trailers out in the desert, to like weird people, skinheads or whatever, and you're in the middle of nowhere, and I don't know, it just takes you to different places,
No, with desert, trailer, and weird people. So you ever played at the Burning Man?
I have not, but this is kind of like a mini version of Burning Man, I would imagine, in a trailer. But I just remember it being weird. But one of my bass player guys that played in the Ray City Rollers, his name is Rob, and he would go to Burning Man every year. He has an Airstream trailer, and he just disappears. Hence, we don't get to play a lot because I can never find him. He's just a free spirit, and he takes his trailer and goes to Burning Man and then reports back to me what happened at Burning Man. But it's frustrating to me, because I'm like, hey, we got a gig. Can you do this gig? He's like, no. Half the time I can't find him, or he's at Burning Man or something, enjoying himself, which is great for him, but frustrating for me sometimes. So.
Understandable. I tell you what, we're going to take a refill break now, which means I'm going to play my little refill video here. That gives us a chance to pop up and stretch our legs or refill our drinks. And we'll be back in about 5 minutes, guys. So
we can take our seatbelts off now?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We'll wander away and be back.
Sit right back and relax, or get up and get a drink and refill what you have, while the cast and co-hosts of Talk of the Tavern do the same. Now here's the testimony of some of the great people we've had on Talk of the Tavern or previously on Sounds of Steam. Enjoy.
This is Gail Carragher, author of The Finishing School and the Custard Protocol series, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern.
This is Aiden Sivart, Steampunk Indiana Jones.
Hey, this is Scott.
This is Samantha.
And we're Frenchie and the Punk.
I'm Karen Kay, also known as the Fairy Lady and editor of Fame magazine, and also founder of Fairy Events.
This is K.W. Jeter, author of Infernal Devices and Fiendish Schemes.
Kircher here. I play Bifur in the Hobbit trilogy, and you are listening to Talk of the Tavern.
This is Trevor Crafts, executive producer and creator of Lantern City.
This is Lord Bobbins of TeslaCon. Huzzah!
Steampunk Funk Bazaar here, Lord Monty, right in front of your radio.
Hello, this is Professor Elemental. When I'm not taking a bath in gin or trying to invent a new kind of badger, I'm listening. Oh, yes!
This is Stephen Davis of Raising Steam UK, 2-day steampunk festival in Reading. Enjoy.
I'm Thomas Williford of Brute Force Studios, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern.
This is Commander Bob of Victor Sierra.
Je suis la légendaire princesse convertie de Victor Sierra.
Hi, my name is Sarah from Valentine Wolf.
Hey, this is Braxton from Valentine Wolf.
This is Aileen the Peacemaker, the founding editor of Beyond Victoriana, the multicultural steampunk blog.
Hey, this is Joseph C.R. Vortek, otherwise known as Electro Swing Neo Vintage DJ Vortek, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern. I hope you come out of it in one piece. I'm not sure I did.
And don't forget about our other shows during the week. Tunesday, Middle-Aged Gamers on Wednesday, and Virtual International Pub VIP on Thursdays. Make sure you join us there, 1 p.m. Eastern to 4 p.m.
Hi, my name is Ashley Rogers. I'm the organizer of the Copper Claw.
This is Calamity Dawn, mixologist of Airship Passepartout.
This is Commodore Lorpicar of Lost Saints Curiosities.
This is Jimmy Diggs of the Crypto Historians, reminding you that the future is in your hands.
This is Gabrielle Reel.
Hi, this is D. Clarence Snyder, writer of the Bright Future series, and you are listening to Talk of the Tavern.
This is Professor Marcus O'Bannon, the Chief Scientific Investigator for the Crypto Historians.
This is Lady Gatita of Nerdvana.
Hey, this is Angie Vello from Ghostfire.
This is Hannah Titania, Queen of the Fairies.
This is Jeff Platt of Highland Steamworks.
This is Danielle Ackley McPhail, co-author of Baba Ali and the Clockwork Gin, and you are listening to Talk of the Tavern Radio.
Hi, this is John R. White, author of The Tales of the Airship Neverland.
This is Catherine Gleason, author of Anatomy of Steampunk, The Fashion of Victorian Futurism.
This is opera singer Katie Cat.
This is Keith Prusak of Bad September.
This is Captain James Barrington of the mighty Claxton.
This is Emily Leverett, and I'm the editor of Big Bad and Anthology People, Volumes 1 and 2, and you are listening to Talk of the Tavern.
Hola Radio Escuchas, les habla Lady Smoke de Sociedad de Steampunk Argentina y Sindicato Dieselpunk.
This is Melanie Grace with Live Steamy.
We are Warren and Betsy Talbot of MarriedWithLuggage.com.
This is Christopher Meeker, author of Hawthorne, Chronicles of the Brass Hand.
This is Mickey Wonderland, Steampunk Fairy Princess of Wonderland with a fresh cup of Mad Hatter tea.
Hi, this is Margaret McGraw, author of the prompt writing blog WritersSpark.com, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern.
Hello, this is Mishkin from Bird Eats Baby.
This is Nim Derringer of Airship Hypatia.
This is Painless Parker.
This is Persephone Burroughs Dimebagger, co-captain of the Airship Hypatia.
This is Psyche of Psyche Corporation.
Ahoy, me darlings. This is Misty Massey, author of Mad Kestrel, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern.
I'm Ellie Ann from Steampunk Homes, author of Slice of Life and The Silver Sickle. Hope you enjoy the show.
This is Captain Jared Cornwall of the Melanie Rose.
Hi, this is Lucy Luminos with Tinker the Web Series.
This is Travis Fessler, the steam-powered circus freak from the Pickled Brothers Circus.
This is Scott Norman of The Wars of Other Men.
I'm Mr. Cat of the Cat in Black Art, and you are listening to Talk of the Tavern.
This is Wendy Callahan, author of The Chron.
And I'm going to cut our break video short since we're all here anyway. We might as well keep rolling with what we're doing. Let's see, I had a few things here that I...
Well, I have something.
Oh, go ahead, Andrew.
It just hit me. When you said Kathleen Turner Overdrive, I know who you are.
You do?
I know the band. Because it's in my playlist. I love that type of music. I have that. So now, yeah. I came to the conclusion, I know who this is. Yes.
Wow.
So she gets to fangirl a little.
Oh.
Because it's on my playlist with, like, the Pixies and Ramones and Black Flag, and that's my music.
Wow. I used to see Black Flag and Slam Dance with Marines, which isn't very smart. What was I thinking? It was like, okay, let's go get beat up. I don't know.
I've never understood the mosh pit concept. No, not the mosh pit itself, of the movement and whatnot, but yeah, actually slam dancing. I'm like, yeah, no. My friends are like, you want to come down? I'm like, no, I'm good. You go ahead.
It was pretty stupid, but I guess we were just bored, and we were like, it was kind of like, can we survive this? That was the thrill. It's like you get all energized, and these guys were all huge, and they were crazy, and we were skinny, like, never eating, like, band guys that I don't know what we were doing. I guess we thought it was funny to try to survive it.
You did okay. You're here.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you know. But well, that's cool. So, yeah. Well, a lot of people, like, I think there's a Canadian band using that name. There's a couple other bands using that name now, I guess, but we can't really do anything about it, so we just. But we were first.
Well, there you go.
So in your bands, you're usually the ringleader. Then you're the organizer and the brains behind the operation. Is that right?
Not necessarily. In the Night Porters, we were the singer and Andy Brown we were kind of like the Clash, and we co-wrote and sang together. It was more of a combined group effort thing. And that was my main band. That's always the band that, they say you never forget your first band, and we did the most. So after that, and Kathleen Turner Overdrive was started as a joke. It was supposed to be, let's go be a silly punk band, and we were older then, and we just did it to have fun, and then my other bands were more me, because I was writing the songs. So it's different when you're not co-writing with someone, or I've had a lot of like 3-piece bands and whatnot. But yeah,
pros and cons to that, isn't it? Being all you,
well,
versus
if there's
the
a
support.
problem, they're like, it's your band. It's like, yeah, I guess you're right about that. Like, you got to deal with everything. You got to book the shows and do everything. But if anything goes wrong, it's always on you.
Right.
So,
So let's see. Now you've kind of answered this question. I had the question as a dual question of who have you opened for, and you've name dropped with that. But what about you when you're the headliner? Who's open for you?
Oh, well, good question. I don't know. I mean, I've opened for a lot of people just because, it's hard to headline, especially nowadays, because you just got to be huge and stuff to even tour and all.
And there's so many festivals going on now where we've got, the handful of big names and the 3 handfuls of the smaller type. Local.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like back in the day, they would only have at clubs. They would have an opening band and a headliner. Now the clubs have switched and they put 4 or 5 bands on a night, which I don't like at all, because they think it'll bring in more people, when really it just cuts the band's sets and they make less money. And now they charge a production cost even. It's like pay to play,
Yeah.
And it didn't used to be that way. I noticed. This is going way back, at least in Georgia, when they raised the drinking age. Suddenly, the crowd was a lot smaller, and a lot of it is a lot of people are in this just for the business end of it. I'm not. I'm in for the art. If I make money, that's great, but that's not the reason I do it. It's more for the creativity, and because I feel like I have to do it. I have to get it out of me, so I'm not crazy.
Right.
But as far as people that have opened for me, it's no one really big or that you'd really know of. A lot of times we play with like just people that I know, friends bands, and that's sort of thing. I can't think of anyone really popular that's. Well, actually, Cheetah Chrome from the Dead Boys opened for us once. It's just weird when you pull up and you see the marquee. You see. Night Porters and Cheetah Chrome opening for it. At the time, we were big Dead Boys fans, so we were like, "That's weird. That's wrong." We should have been happy, but we were like, "That just doesn't seem right," So I don't know.
So you ever have any good jam sessions with people that you just adored? Somebody you fanboyed over?
Well, actually, I was good friends with REM, but mostly Peter Buck, who was that's how I met him. He used to just get on stage with us in Athens, and he was a little bit older than us, and they were getting to be fairly well known. So we were really flattered when he would just jump up there and play with us, and and I've stayed with friends with him over the years, although it's gotten harder because he's moved to Seattle and Hawaii. He's got places all over, and he's fairly well off, but he's still a really nice guy, and but that he would get up like all over the place and play with us, and we always thought that was cool.
I think that is cool.
He liked it. Yeah,
it's just having talented friends that you can enjoy performing.
Yeah,
that's definitely a plus. It's
that's one of the. You always end up. We used to have weird people get up when we play in New York. I don't know if you know who Steve Forbert is. He was a songwriter mostly in the 70s, although he's still playing. But I kind of liked him. But he just got on stage drunk with us at this little club it was a famous club in the village that going back to the early 60s where they would have folk people play there. Like, I remember him getting up there. We've opened for Bo Diddley before. I'm not sure if he jammed with us or not.
Nice,
but,
nice.
That was a big deal. But we got to share a dressing room with him, which
Thanks for the bits, Des.
Yeah, Des, good to see you, buddy. Here's to you. So you shared a dressing room with Bo Diddley, huh?
Yeah, that was worth getting into music for, just to do that.
How was the personality there? How was hanging out with him in the dressing room for 8 minutes before?
Well, he came in like Bo Diddley would, with a big hat on and two skinny hot babes, and we were just like, "Wow, that's Bo Diddley," you know. And we're in a room with him, and he's just like Mr. Rock and Roll, you know. And it's like stuff like that, like it just makes it all worthwhile, I guess. I don't know. You feel like you've done something, you know. It's like we're sharing a dressing room with Bo Diddley, you know.
So you ever wonder if maybe there's somebody out there? He's like, yeah, we shared a room with Ray and had a good time.
There probably are. I don't know who they are. I don't know what they're. You know, I don't know.
Well, you should get up on stage with a few people and jam with them, and then you'll be that guy.
I should go out more often.
There is that too. You got to leave the house, don't you?
Yeah, I gotta leave the couch and go somewhere to actually do that. But you know,
I'm sure when you're on the couch, you're busy writing or creating something, though.
Yeah, I don't know. Posting videos to Facebook, you know, I don't know. I'm a really big music fan, so I like obscure things, and I always like what you're doing. I always wanted to kind of be a DJ or something, you know, like. I'm still thinking of doing that. I don't know where to do it, but apparently DJs are really popular now. Like, we played out in San Francisco, and when I was booking the show, there was a whole conflict of, but we got a DJ in then at that time slot or something. I'm like, okay, well, don't you want the live band to play? And they're like, no, the DJ. It's all about the DJs now.
It's confusing, isn't it?
Okay. Yeah, it's like, but
see,
it's live DJs.
Right. See, I've had people call me a DJ. I'm like, I'm not a DJ, and they're like, no, you are. You play music and you talk on each side. I'm like, yeah, there's a difference between a radio style DJ and the DJs that get up there now and spin tunes and mix and blend. That takes talent. This just takes me chit chatting.
You're a VJ.
Is that what I am? I guess that's better than me being a BJ. So
yeah.
You know.
Or a VJJ.
Yeah.
I think VJJs are beautiful things. I don't have a problem with being called that. So let me ask you, when you're on the couch, what do you binge watch?
Documentaries.
Really? Nice. So like nature ones or
That's
historical?
all I watch is documentaries. I don't like, if it's not real, I'm like, it's not real. And I get really confused. I don't understand this because it's not real. But I'm just addicted to documentary.
But it sounds like you're addicted to living. So, you know, if you like to live life, you want to see more life.
You watch documentaries.
Yeah. If you're escaping from life, you watch fiction or read fiction or whatever your thing is. I get it. It's so what, nature documentaries, historical documentaries, what are you into?
Oh, I don't know. Mostly music stuff, but you know, any kind of historical thing. You know, I don't know. I think the fictional stuff I like tends to be based in the '60s for some reason. I guess because that's when I was born. So, you know, I'm into Kubrick and all that, and you know, Hitchcock, and you know, I have my certain directors and films I like, and I guess I kind of stay with them. I don't venture outside of my comfort zone too much, although sometimes I do, and I'm really impressed with things. But I'll watch things over and over again, the same movies, like Rear Window. I could see it a million times. It's like I should watch newer things, but I don't know. I watch TCM all the time, and my daughter's like, you know, you're an idiot, and you know, you should watch, you know. Why do you always watch that? Of course, I have some influence on her now because she wants to come up and watch old movies. You know, I'm like, okay, see, I want.
Nice, it's bonding. I have a
Yeah.
theater here in Richmond called the Bird Theater. It's built in like 1923 or something, and they've refurbished it. And they'll play second-run movies. But during Christmas, they'll play It's a Wonderful Life on the big screen. And they have the Wurlitzer that comes out of the stage before, and it's really an awesome place. But something I've noticed about, like, What's a Wonderful Life, we've all seen it how many times, to the point where we're like, oh, not again. Seeing it in a theater on the big screen, different movie. It's a different experience. And
Right.
they'll do the old classic movies and do runs like that, whether it's 80s or 60s or whatever. And yeah, those are the ones I aim for. I can see a movie anywhere, whether it's DVD, the crappy theater locally, or a big, beautiful theater an hour away. But to see a movie like Casablanca or something on the big screen, it's delicious. That's what it is.
Yeah, there you go.
It's
I like that. I know a lot of that there's a theater here called the Plaza Theater that's built like God knows when, the 20s or something, but they show a lot of rerun stuff. And I actually made a film about the Night Porters, my first band, which is called Tell It Like It Is. I think it's online. I don't know how it got online, but it's online. It got pirated and it's weird, but so that was interesting. Like I always wanted to make a film, so I guess I chose something I was familiar with, but I tried not to make it. It's a documentary like about my band, but it's kind of, I tried to make it like a mix of the Ruddles and Spinal Tap. Like it doesn't take itself seriously. Like, a lot of these bands are like, these interviews are just so heavy, like they matter so much. And, I mean, so I tried to make it lighthearted and kind of fun. But
if you do another film, I think it'd be really interesting to see a film. And again, this would be better from somebody like us who is not a big name. Couldn't pull this as well as a small name, I think. And the evolution of being in the band scene from then to now. I think that would be a very cool documentary, just to see how, the venues have shifted. Mentioning DJ earlier versus live band, etc. Yeah, I think that'd be a worthwhile project to have somebody make.
I'd love to make another film. It's like just it's on a long list of things I'd like to do. So it's like, and having the subject, I don't know what to do, what to do it on. But that's a good idea.
Yeah, just do it. What was it like performing in? Now, did you perform pre-80s also? Were you in the 70s? Were you on stage?
Not really. I mean, we started playing around 81, 82, I think.
So you still
but in the 70s, I was going to concerts.
Okay, so
when I was a teenager, I saw a bunch of people. I was a big Queen fan. I saw them like 3 times with Freddie Mercury.
Nice. Great performers, huh? Good entertainers.
Yeah, they were a great band. I mean, the first show I saw was them in Thin Lizzy, I think, in 77 or something.
See, I tell people there are performers who go up and perform their music. Then there's entertainers that they put on a show, and they make you part of the show. And it's an experience instead of, I saw them.
Right.
It makes a difference.
Freddie Mercury was definitely an entertainer, It was one of the best,
Definitely.
The weird thing is, like, about the 70s is, maybe it was because of my age, is like I didn't know people were gay. Like, okay, like nobody thought Freddie Mercury was gay when he had long hair, okay, and he had black nail polish and wore kimonos, and like everyone thought that was normal because
David,
like
Bowie.
all those bands, like Yes, all kind of dressed like that. Steven Tyler it didn't really dawn on us till like 1980 when he shaved his hair and grew the mustache, and there was like, oh, that's what that is.
Right.
It was just weird,
Here's a whole subculture that we didn't know existed.
And I was like, it was just weird, But
thank goodness for it advancing, though, isn't it? That people can be more of who they are and less of who you think they should be.
Well, it was just funny because it was like Punk's effect on Queen, and suddenly they said and all those 70s bands did it. They were like, we got to keep up with these new wave people, and like they suddenly cut all their hair and changed, like Jefferson's Airplane Starship started like looking all new wave and putting out horrible music. It was just a weird shift in I don't know. was weird.
No, we also mentioned that with Beach Boys had that shift, Metallica had that shift. Who else were we talking about that did that too? Oh, just the hair band shift, where they went from here's somebody performing art and their music and what means something to them to here's a formula band.
Yeah.
They're just on the business side, and they put these 4 people together and put them on stage and went, make us money.
Right.
So,
yeah, I don't. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
No, I was going to intro the next song, but if you got more, let's keep going.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think you've covered the transitional band thing. I don't know. It's like
it's as much as I like growth, there's sometimes growth takes us backwards into it's not a creative outlet anymore. They've gone into the business end. That's why they're on stage.
But interesting, like bands that were created just for that, like the Monkees.
Mm-hmm.
Like I find them to be some, like the other end. Like they didn't change that and their music is great. They had writers, but then they started doing their own things. And like that movie Head is great. When I don't know if you've seen it, but
I haven't.
Oh, you should check it out.
Yeah,
Head by the Monkees.
Writing it down.
Where they decided to kill their careers, make it public that just check it out. It's interesting.
Well, the Monkees is actually they're the rarity, the ones that never played the instruments and then they learned how to, and they wanted to build on that. So that's the other side, and of course it didn't do them good.
Mm-hmm.
It shut them down. So what about Rejected? We're going to play Rejected next. You got anything to say about this?
This is one that. Yeah, I love this song. This is one that Koch sings on, and it's one of my favorites. That's part of the reason I wanted to record this thing is because of the song. This is one that some of these songs have been around for a little while, but this is one that I just picked up guitar, just came out. So I was like, I liked it enough. I was like, okay, let's go record it. So and luckily Koch came out and did some cool vocals on it.
Beautiful.
And, check it out.
Okay, we'll share with everybody. Here we go, guys.
I'm not wanting no more, and I'm a bad
There we go.
Cool.
So let's see here. Now I notice a lot of your songs are right around radio play. They want it 3 minutes, give or take a couple seconds. And I've noticed a trend, especially with the indie bands, going longer, doing 4 or 5 minute, even 7-minute songs. Any urge to do that? Or are you happy with your
I think this song just kind of writes itself. I mean, if it's a rock pop song that feels like it should be 2 minutes 50, then that's what it's going to be. I don't consciously go in and go, well, this is going to fit on the radio. It's just like,
good answer.
Like the songs kind of write themselves for me. I mean, I'm like, if it needs to be 12 minutes, it's going to be 12 minutes, but that kind of song doesn't need to be 12 minutes. It's like,
yeah.
I have longer songs. I just kind of go by the feel. I like to arrange things and kind of feel like I have a good feel for that. But anyway, yeah. I don't know. I just think the songs kind of like,
I like
speak
it.
themselves. It's like,
yeah, whatever kind of art you create, you got to let it kind of form itself, and then you shape it to what you want it to be.
Yeah, and I guess nowadays a lot of stuff is being played on the internet or podcasts, so that the rules are probably looser than commercial radio, where they're just like they cut parts out of songs to fit it on, that they used to do all the time. Like that's why you hear like Talking Head songs like Life During Wartime, which is really actually kind of long song, and they'll just chop it in like
Pink Floyd's another one. They'll chop the hell out of a Pink Floyd song.
Yeah, well, they're not on LSD, so it's like they're not tripping their brains out, so they don't need to hear the whole song.
That
I guess.
thick as a brick 45-minute cut isn't something we want to play every day.
I don't know. So, there's a station here that called WREK. It's a Georgia Tech radio, and I love them because they're very eclectic, and they'll play bluegrass next to like Dead Kennedys or whatever.
Nice.
And I love that, like just total open format,
Yeah.
No rules, and a friend of mine's a DJ there. He's been on there forever, and I go on there a lot. And we just talk. The problem is we know each other, so we've known each other for a long time. So we're talking about stuff that people probably don't even know what we're talking about.
Some inside stuff there.
Yeah, which is cool for this. It's like it's what we're doing. But when you're on the radio, it's like we forget that we're just chatting. At some point,
With regulars who I get on frequently, and we'll start to do the inside story or joke or whatever, often I'll be like, hold on a second, let me give backstory so the listeners actually, the newer listeners know what we're talking about. Madam Perry wants to ask, what about your previous band, the Race City Rollers? Plus, she wants more raucous band stories, stage fights, etc.
Well, she knows everything.
That's probably why she's like, we know there's stuff here. Let me throw that in so he's got something.
Okay. Let me think. Let me put my tinfoil hat on and okay. Race City Rollers was just another silly band name, and that's what it was. Nobody could pronounce my last name, so I wouldn't. They would say Dafrico and Dafricio, and I got tired of hearing it. This is going on my whole life, in school, So I never wanted to be solo because I got tired of hearing it mispronounced. So I was like, I'll just think up stupid band names, and they want to use my name. But I could keep my first name in this. And one of the first shows I saw, I was a huge Bay City Rollers fan. It was like Partridge Family, then Bay City Rollers. And, a lot of people weren't, They were like, oh, those guys, teeny bop idiots that wore tartan. But I somehow thought they were really cool. Like, I always loved the Saturday Night song, SATUR. And I had a poster in the room. And, I never thought that they were like a girl band, which they were. But, the Beatles initially were too, But I actually saw the Bay City Rollers in 1976. I think I was the only guy there. It was all screaming girls dressed in tartan, and then me in the back. But I thought the guitar player was cool, Woody Wood. I mean, what kind of name is that? It's cool. It's like Ron Wood, but it's Woody Wood.
Like a superhero
and he played a
name.
Telecaster. Yeah, it's like, what do you? And the thing that got to me is like they had some really cool songs, and they played Telecasters, or he did. And before I knew the names of the guitars, I was just knew that I loved that shape of that guitar. It's like, I want one of those. And also, there's this story that who's Chris Spedding, who was a session player, played on some of their records, and he also played on some of the Sex Pistols demos. So I think I've always had this ear for, in the background, there were like these great session players playing on these records. That's why I thought they sounded great. But so anyway, I just used my name, and I was like, what can I use my name in? And I just came over Ray City Rollers, and
I like to play on words.
Yeah, and it gets attention because just because it's catchy, and but
It's
you're
clever.
like, well, isn't that like Bay City Rollers? And the reason I stopped using it was because booking people at clubs actually thought we were a Bay City Rollers cover tribute band. And I was like, how do they, what? It says Ray City Rollers. I was like, so, and then I started thinking that's a good idea too. But, I don't know. So I kind of dropped it. Now I just call it Ray Dafrico and his band, because it's like, that's pretty much what it is. And then people are like, well, there's the band. I go, yeah, well, they're not Ray Dafrico and the band and his band.
So if you did
anyway, I love the band.
If you did a Partridge Family cover band, we could call it Rays of Sunshine.
We could.
Probably wouldn't, but we
Cautious, nervous mother driving. I don't know. There's all kinds of. There was actually a band here in the 80s in Atlanta or Athens area called Reuben Kincaid, who was their manager.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was a great name. That was a while ago.
So
yeah,
you got another stage story time.
Stage story? Oh, I forgot. Backstage, what? Well, okay, I'll just ramble on.
Yeah.
One of our first shows, we were good friends with RuPaul, who's massively famous now, and he always acted like he was famous, although he wasn't at the time, and he was just a trip. And we were like teenagers, and there was this like black drag queen that was really cool. He was friendly with us, and he would even back then there was a little club here called the Bistro. It was in a house, and the house band there was called Baby and the Pacifiers, if you can believe that. And they were kind of like a really bad version of the New York Dolls. Like they would dress up and wear lipstick, and they had the song called it was about suicide. It was called Before You Go, Can I Have Your Radio? I mean, that was like. But the thing about the Bistro was it was the only place you can get in underage. Like so all the Atlanta teenagers would come there and to go see. That was the only place I can get into, and they'd have to see Baby and the Pacifiers.
Well, how come people don't realize the value of a place like that now? Some place where the teens can get in.
We took it for granted, but I'll always look back on those years as like fondly, because it was a special time. It was like, who can say they saw Baby and the Pacifiers? Actually, a lot of people in Atlanta can. But anyway, so we started getting gigs there when we started our band, and one of our first shows was opening for RuPaul, and his band was called Wee Wee Pole. If you can believe that. Yeah, you probably can.
That's great.
We're very naive. We'll believe pretty much anything.
Okay. And they had a tiny stage, and it was like a 70s kind of house that had like, I don't know how to describe it, but there was actually a staircase, like the Addams Family house, that went up to where the band lived. And RuPaul would play, like Elvis, he would play the 2001 theme, and he would come down from the stairs and swing around the pole and put on this great show, and like in a loincloth or something, And so we learned from the best of how to perform. But,
talk about staying power. RuPaul's done okay.
Yeah, and then who knew that he was going to be on Jeopardy the other night, and like all these, he's got his own show, and I still think it's funny.
How do you do on Jeopardy?
I didn't see it. I
Okay.
just heard he was on. But it's funny because yeah, I don't know. It's just funny.
You see, with stage sizes, when I was younger and hadn't been to smaller clubs and whatnot, I always imagined stages as larger places. And once I started going to see live music for the smaller bands and whatnot, some of the stages, I mean, bathrooms are larger than some of these stages. You literally have like a 5x8 platform that's 2 inches off the ground, and they call it the stage. And then they put 3 to 5 people up here with all the equipment, and I'm like, wow, that's it's like going to a zoo and seeing an animal that's in a cage instead of roaming free. You're like, this just isn't right.
It's awkward, but that's where you kind of learn to, do your thing. Like, you have 1 foot area as your zone, but I played tons of those stages. But luckily I've played bigger stages too. But we're starting out. That's like what was there. And the main punk club in town was called the 688 Club, and like everybody played there, and we were kind of the house band there. And I have all kinds of stories from there. One time, this guy fell through the roof. He was a friend of mine, and he's another Atlanta punk rocker from back in the day. His name was Freddie Vomit, and it was spelled with PH. Freddie.
Gotcha.
Like, okay, and we were good friends, but somehow. I think he asked me, did I want to go on the roof? I don't know why they were going on the roof. Like, things like this happen all the time back then. And I was like, no, that's okay. I'm good here. And I think I made the right decision because he fell through and he got stuck. So his legs were hanging there. And somehow they got him out. And then later on, the club kind of immortalized it and hung like a pair of legs from the ceiling where he fell through. So
at least they worked with the accident, so that's good.
Yeah, it was art. Everything was about art, It's like, let's make it art.
Do we have that now? I think we do in smaller venues,
We probably do, but see, like me never getting off the couch, I wouldn't know. It's like, I know there are things going on, like, I guess the older you get, you're like, oh, they don't do that anymore, but I know they're doing things. I'm just not there seeing it,
It's
so.
Let me ask you.
But maybe they're not. I don't know.
It's well, I do a lot of these steampunk events and see a lot of the steampunk bands. Now they're not falling through roofs because usually they're in a convention center or a hotel and whatnot. But I feel like a lot of them are in it for the art. They're in it for the beauty of what they're doing, as opposed to the big name and fame and money coming along with it would be nice, but
they're not in it for the money because right now that's not where it is.
Yeah, they're in it because they love it. Let me ask you about the Beatles. What's your thoughts on, like, when they first hit it big versus what they became in the 70s and everything? That changeover. Where's your favorite?
Well, I was a big George is my favorite Beatle. Our birthday is like a couple days apart. I'm a Pisces, and so I have that weird Indian music groove going on constantly in my head.
Do you like Bollywood?
I do, yeah.
Nice.
But but I was going to say the Beatles, like, although I was born in '64, the height of Beatlemania. Of course, I didn't know them then, but I did learn about them fairly early on. I would buy their singles. Like, the first single I got was "I Want to Hold Your Hand," and I think I got. And this is interesting because that was the first single I got, which sounds like it does. The second single I got was "Strawberry Fields Forever," which is totally psychedelic.
That's our next phase there.
Two different bands, basically. So, but I bought them within, a couple weeks of each other. So, I've always loved the Beatles, and although I'm probably ultimately more of a Stones fan, I know there's that constant thing, like, where the thing is, Beatle fans tend to be snobbier than Stones fans. Like, they're like, well, the Beatles are the only band that ever, they did this and they did that, which, granted, they did, but I got to give kudos to the Stones because I feel like they've stayed together longer, and for better or worse, and they seem to have a whole different, funkier kind of groove that appeals to me more. I like the Beatles for certain reasons, and then I like the Stones for certain reasons. But
I don't feel like the Stones did as drastic as a change over time that the Beatles did. The Beatles definitely, like you said, it felt like two different bands.
Yeah, no, that's what I like about the Stones. As a musician, I feel like the Stones are better at dabbling into styles of music and staying themselves. Like they can do reggae, they can do disco, and they can pull it off and still be like the Stones. Where the Beatles, like they would go into, okay, we're a whole different band now. We're going to do like, you know, like Sgt. Pepper. The whole concept was to be a whole different band, you know.
Right.
And they would do these artistically monumental different changes, you know. And
like Madonna.
So I like both bands too. Huh?
Like Madonna.
Madonna. Oh, yeah.
She'd remake herself every album.
I do like one Madonna song, that Ray of Light, not just because it's about me. It's like, yeah, great. She wrote a song about me. I love you.
It's a tribute. That's awesome, man. Well done.
I do like that song. It's just a good song. I never liked her earlier stuff because we were playing like all the time when she came to fame, I guess. Right. And it was, I just remember it like our singer became obsessed with Madonna, and he loved her, and he started dressing like her. I was worried about him. He would wear that black mesh. This is the 80s. So guys would wear it was different than the 70s where they wouldn't just like, they would wear like just crazy stuff. And we were like, man, you're turning into Madonna. You got to stop. And we spent a lot of time
like, Papa, don't preach at me.
He would just ignore us and keep being Madonna, but you know, he'd like, yeah, whatever, man.
What about crazy managers? You ever have a manager that you got stories about? Tell us about that.
They're all crazy. That's why I don't have one now. I can manage myself and be crazy. Thank you.
See, managers confuse me because now a hardworking manager is invaluable. Somebody who gets you the gigs that move you forward and all that. But I don't hear about those often. I hear about the other type of manager who's just either the money guy who's taking your money without doing a whole lot, or they're just neurotic.
Right.
But I'm not in that scene, so I haven't had personal experience with it. So tell me some stories.
Well, you know, when we started, you always think, oh, well, we got to get a great manager. You know, you imagine, you know, Peter Grant with Led Zeppelin, and anyone that doesn't pay you, they go and break their arms and stuff. You know, like it's all about protecting the band, and these are my boys. And, you know, they don't exist. So
you need a mafia manager.
Yeah, or the mafia. You know, basically most of them were the mafia. I mean, like the Small Faces had Don Arden, who's Sharon Osbourne's dad. He was a famous. He had all the bands in London in the early 60s, and he was a mob guy, and it was basically like if you broke the contract, they would come break your fingers kind of thing, you know. And so you don't want that.
Yeah, maybe it's better that we've got past that. I think cocaine came in, and they moved away from music into that trade instead.
Yeah, I mean, Kathleen Turner Overdrive had a manager I reluctantly got involved with, and he was kind of like... I mean, he had a sense. He seemed okay, but I didn't really was nervous about signing a paper with him.
Gotcha.
You know, and but since the whole band did, they twisted my arm, and I did, and then there was just always this tension. We had an office downstairs in this theater here, and when I would come in the room, he would get like real. It would just get weird, and he was always telling me I had to, you know. You got to do something about your image. You got to dye your hair. And I was like, I'll dye my hair when I want to dye my hair. You know, it was like, why are you telling me what I got to do? You know, and at one point, and I would just like put him on, you know, and because he would go for it. I would go, well, what do you think a good look for me would be? And, you know, he would be in all seriousness. Well, I think you need to wear a cut-off shirt, like kind of a Jagger thing. And I was like, oh, yeah, that would be a good look for me. And, you know, I was like, what is he talking about?
You don't want to see me. Chiseled abs, right?
Yeah, not now. My belly's huge.
Go with that half shirt now.
I just thought it was funny because he was being serious, where I'm never really that serious. I think that's why I've survived. Most of these people aren't in the music business anymore, but you got to have a sense of humor.
Yeah, I feel like I'd rather deal with a fellow like you than a fellow like that.
Yeah, and
besides, it sounds like when a bump happens, you roll with the punches and go on. It sounds like somebody like that would have a fit instead.
Yeah, I think he did a couple times.
Could be.
Anyway, we just kind of went on. I mean, that's the thing with bands is like they run their course, and then you're like, okay, we're gonna do something else,
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, tell you what, let's play Tina Louise now. You got any intro for that?
No.
Okay.
I hope she doesn't sue me like Kathleen Turner. This is kind of like a tongue-in-cheek, campy Kinks kind of song about, Tina Louise and Hollywood. I don't know. It's just like I never really know what my songs are about. They just kind of come out and I write them and the words kind of flow out. And I'm like, okay, this is about Tina Louise, Ginger on Gilligan's Island. I mean, I haven't heard anyone write a song about her yet, so I guess I better do it.
So you're a Ginger fan over Marianne?
Well, that's a tough call, but I think ultimately maybe,
Okay. Let's do this, and we could talk more about it when we come back. I like that. That's fun. That's nice.
Yeah, thanks. It's
I was looking at your website, which I have been posting in the chat, and I was looking over some of the bands and people you performed with, and one of them was Weird Al.
Oh yeah.
And looking at his music and your music, Was he kind of an inspiration? Or
I like
you
Weird
kinda-
Al, and I love what he does. When I played with him, it was a last minute thing. They just said, "Hey, do you want to open for Weird Al?" And I was like, "Okay, I guess," because I thought it was like, "How's that going to work?" And it was like basically sold out, and it was a lot of moms with their kids from the sub, because must have a broad audience.
He does.
It's like, yeah, and I was like, it was a little weird because none of those people knew there was going to be an opening act, right? So they pushed me out on stage, and it's like, I guess I thought I was a comedian or something, right? But like, what's this band doing? Like, there's going to be a riot of moms, and I just said, "Hey, I'm Weird Ray Yankovic, Al's younger brother," and just played my set, and they just kind of sat there like, like the problem is with opening acts is like they're all there to see the headliner, so they don't really want to see an opening act. Like when people open for the Who, all they do is get booed, or the Stones, like people throw stuff at them, and so. Although you're playing to a large audience, they're not necessarily there to see you.
They're not terribly receptive.
Yeah, and especially with Weird Al, because like I'm going to play My Bologna or whatever. It's like,
I've always felt like with opening bands, they should match them to the band on stage, not necessarily like a tribute band open for them, but something that relates. And it's because I've seen a few concerts here and there, and when the opening band comes out, I'm like, this doesn't even feel like the same genre music. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't parallel. It doesn't relate. This is something totally different that you just put up there to keep us busy for 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, or they think that it's going to help the draw of the show. It's like it doesn't matter who it is. Or they're going to bring in 50 people or whatever.
Right.
So another business decision. But yeah, I think bands should be either match it or if they're totally unmatched, at least make it clever and like
right.
You know what I mean? But
so who would you want to open for?
Who would I want to open for?
Who would be the perfect band for you to open for? Name 2 or 3.
Well, I've already opened for most of the bands. I mean, I wish I had opened for the Pretenders that I liked back then. The Pretenders, but they're kind of like, well, there's 2 of them left. They're still playing. But, I mean, I would say the Rolling Stones, but, like, then I'll get booed. So,
watch your Shark Tank.
I don't know. I mean, there's bands I like from the past that don't exist anymore that I would like to have opened for. Like the MC5 or something. Or, I did get to open for the Ramones. That I can check certain bands off the list.
Nice.
I opened for Peter Tork from the Monkees, who I always thought he was great when I was younger, and but that was kind of bizarre too.
You get a photo with him?
Who?
No, I didn't.
If you can have any band to open for you, who would you like to be your opening act? Yeah.
I really like Fountains of Wayne are good. The early Fountains of Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
Pre-Stacy's mom, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I like all kinds of bands. It's hard to say, but to open for me, God, I don't know. You get me stumped on that. I don't know. Help me out. There are some names out there.
Andrea, what do you think would be a good band for him to mesh with?
Well, who is currently in your playlist? Who are you listening to the most right now?
I'm kind of all over with that. I like I said, I tend to like older music. So, I listen to the Nas a lot, which was Todd Rundgren's first band. There were I like psychedelic kind of 60s punk bands. If I like Buzzcocks, The Clash, The Who, Dylan, a lot of soul music from the 60s, like Rufus Thomas and, James Brown. I would like to open for, but open for me, that's what we're talking about.
Either way.
I don't know.
Well,
either way.
Let me ask you this. It's, so when you
I
go
never open for X. I'd like to open for X.
There you go.
Yeah.
So when you go out and see live music now, Where do you go? Do you go to like the jazz club? Do you go to a concert? Do you go to watch a house band?
I tend to go. Yeah, exactly. Takes a lot to get me off the couch, but there's a club here called the Earl, which is a pretty cool little dive. It's they got a good sound system, and they have pretty good bands play there. And I'm doing my CD release there on show on June 1st. So
Nice.
if you're in Atlanta or nearby, you should come out for that. I go there a lot. There's a place called 529, which is really small, but cool. I played there a few times, and I'll go there. But those are most of the places I go in Atlanta, unless it's of course, the best place to see a show, period, here is the Fox Theater, which is a much bigger place. It holds like 4,000 people, but it's like an Egyptian ballroom. It's the coolest place ever inside, and so I've seen tons of people play there, and that's where we opened for The Clash, and that was a real honor because everybody's played there, and so ultimately, I think anyone in Atlanta will tell you, oh, if you can see somebody at the Fox Theater, that's where you should go. And but they don't have as many rock concerts. They tend to have more Broadway shows now. So you don't have a lot of opportunities to see concerts there anymore. But so
we should call them and tell them to get you in there, huh?
Yeah, actually, Blondie's playing there, and I called them, but I don't think I'm going to get on it. But, I'm crazy like that. I'll just call them and be like, hey, you should have me play.
The worst they could do is say no. I'm with you. Do that.
Go ahead.
Madam Perry says Utopia. I guess to open for you?
Oh, that would be good. Sure. Is she lining that up? They're playing here next week.
There we go.
Just call Todd and tell him that the bill's been switched around. They will now be opening, and to talk to my manager about it.
Yeah.
Because I'll be on the couch, and I don't want to be bothered. So.
Talk to your manager. Is that the crazy guy with the broken nose?
Yeah. My non-existent manager. He's like my make-believe friend or whatever, Talk to my manager.
We have multiple personalities. They each go with different hats.
That's right. You got to have them.
There you go. So you could just jump on stage and jam with them. Yeah. I think Todd be okay.
I could.
That, right?
I might get the broken nose thing, but I would try.
One more story.
Yeah.
I mean, Todd's from Philadelphia, and I grew up in Philadelphia too. I was originally from New York, but my family's from there.
It's like
so we could talk about Philadelphia. Yeah,
That's a good idea. It's a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
A while ago. Now we're talking about the 90s. You're all over the place.
I am. It's that's why it's 3 hours, so we could go everywhere.
Oh, right. Exactly.
And the audience can really get to know you and your music.
It's true. Yeah.
Cool.
Because you gain loyalty by your personality. If people love you, they'll follow you. So.
Okay.
Okay.
So the phones are ringing off the hook. Yeah.
They are, but I've got it muted, so we don't know. I'm going to do another quick refill break, and we're going to pop back after that. So if you need to stand up, stretch your legs, or whatever, we'll be right back. Okay? Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Sit right back and relax, or get up and get a drink and refill what you have, while the cast and cohorts and co-hosts of Talk of the Tavern do the same. And here's the testimonies of some of the great people we've had on Talk of the Tavern or previously on Sound of Steel. Enjoy.
This is Gail Carragher, author of The Finishing School and the Custard Protocol series, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern.
This is Aiden Sivart, Steampunk Indiana Jones.
Hey, this is Scott.
This is Samantha.
And we're Frenching the Punk.
I'm Karen Kay, also known as the Fairy Lady and editor of Fame magazine and also founder of Fairy Events.
This is K.W. Jeter, author of Infernal Devices and Fiendish Schemes.
Kircher here. I play Bifur in the Hobbit trilogy, and you are listening to Talk of the Tavern.
This is Trevor Crafts, executive producer and creator of Lantern City.
This is Lord Bobbins of Teslacon. Huzzah!
Steampunk Funk Bizarre here, Lord Monty right in front of your radio.
Hello, this is Professor Elemental. When I'm not taking a bath in gin or trying to invent a new kind of badger, I'm listening. Oh, yes.
This is Stephen Davis of Raising Steam UK, 2-day Steampunk Festival in Reading. Enjoy.
I'm Thomas Williford of Brute Force Studios, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern.
This is Commander Bob of Victor Sierra.
Je suis la légendaire princesse convertie de Victor Sierra.
Hi, my name is Sarah from Valentine Wolf.
Hey, this is Braxton from Valentine Wolf.
This is Aileen the Peacemaker, the founding editor of Beyond Victoriana, the multicultural steampunk blog.
Hey, this is Joseph C.R. Vortek, otherwise known as Electro Swing Neo Vintage DJ Vortek, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern. I hope you come out of it in one piece. I'm not sure I did.
And don't forget about our other shows during the week. Tunesday, Middle-Aged Gamers on Wednesday, and Virtual International Pub VIP on Thursdays. Make sure you join us there, 1 p.m. Eastern to 4 p.m.
Hi, my name is Ashley Rogers. I'm the organizer of the Copper Claw.
This is Calamity Dawn, mixologist of Airship Passepartout.
This is Commodore Lorpicar of Lost Saints Curiosities.
This is Jimmy Diggs of the Crypto Historians, reminding you that the future is in your hands.
This is Gabrielle Reel.
Hi, this is D. Clarence Snyder, writer of the Bright Future series, and you are listening to Talk of the Tavern.
This is Professor Marcus O'Bannon, the Chief Scientific Investigator for the Crypto Historians.
This is Lady Gatita of Nerdvana.
Hey, this is Angie Velo from Ghostfire.
This is Hannah Titania, Queen of the Fairies.
This is Jeff Platt of Highland Steamworks.
This is Danielle Ackley McPhail, co-author of Baba Ali and the Clockwork King.
You got about
and you are listening to Talk of the Tavern Radio.
Oh. Hi, this is John L. White, author of The Tales of the Airship Neverland.
This is Catherine Gleason, author of Anatomy of Steampunk, The Fashion of Victorian Futurism.
This is opera singer Katie Cat.
This is Keith Prusak of Bad September.
This is Captain James Barrington of the mighty Claxton.
This is Emily Leverett, and I'm the editor of Big Bad and Anthology of Evil, Volumes 1 and 2, and you are listening to Talk of the Tavern.
Hola Radio Escuchas, les habla Lady Smoke de Sociedad de Steampunk Argentina y Sindicato Dieselpunk.
This is Melanie Grace with Live Steamy.
We are Warren and Betsy Talbot of MarriedWithLuggage.com.
This is Christopher Meeker, author of Hawthorne, Chronicles the Brass Hand.
This is Mickey Wonderland, Steampunk Fairy Princess of Wonderland with a fresh cup of Mad Hatter tea.
Okay, and I'll cut off our video break here, and we're back on. And Andrea, Des is asking about Matricula there. Andrea, are you muted?
Oops. So apparently I wasn't muted when I got up.
Oh, well. It's okay.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, we went to a convention this weekend, and somebody's asking about one of the performers we saw there. Yeah, it's the Twitch community chiming in. So
Matricula started streaming because of Lady Orange. I know we've rated her before, and the thing is, I heard of Matricula before I heard of Lady Orange. So
yeah, we know about Lady Orange because of Matricula. So it worked that way.
So there we go. It's a circle.
It is. I think that's a big part. What about you, Ray, with community? When it comes down to community, this is what I find drives band nowadays. Well, I guess it's always been that way. It's who you know, and that really helps you grow and find new fans or listeners or what have you. So
yeah, that's true. When we started, we made friends with this whole art community in Atlanta. They were called the Blue Rat Gallery, and they would. It was kind of like Andy Warhol's factory, and it was like but it was in the basement of this apartment building where everybody lived. So they just kind of made up this art gallery, and it became this like hangout for everyone. And soon it became a scene, and we kind of made our own thing because at the time it was in the South anyway. There was all these like bands like Atlanta Rhythm Section and Leonard Skinner and Long Haired Southern Rock, and we weren't that. But so we had this whole punk rock little community, that started small, but because everyone knew each other and helped each other out, it became a whole scene, and we kind of flipped it, and so all the clubs wanted to book our kind of bands and that sort of thing. So as far as community and who you know, I think if you're not in with the clubs or whatever, that you can start your own scene is what I'm getting at. Like, you know, I don't know if that exists anymore, but it must on a. It must. I'm just not aware of it. So.
Absolutely, it's
yeah.
I've always with Talk of the Tavern. I didn't want to go and be part of that group or this group. I wanted to be the hub.
You started your own thing.
Yeah, I want to be the hub that supports all the different groups because I'm not into just one thing. I love the variety, whether it's in music or whether it's in what I do or how I dress or any of that. So yeah, it's for me, it's about just getting out there, finding these links and putting people together, kind of like what Madame Perry does there. It's definitely value to that. So there's a lot of doors open to take.
Well, that's what I was going to say, because with the internet now, it's much easier to do that because you have access to all these tools, and you get people in London or all over the world. I mean, when we started, we used to book our shows with a payphone on the corner, and you know, we'd have to get we'd have to have quarters to make calls, and then you know, it was a lot harder. And if you had to book a show out of town, you had to pay this huge phone bill just to call the club. That if you were lucky, they would answer it, or you'd have to leave. You know, it was like hard work. And I don't think younger bands and people that didn't grow up with that way appreciate what they have now. You know, it's like, it really is a blessing to have. You can shoot someone an email or call someone to your mobile phone or text them. I mean, that was just unheard of back then. And so I think people take it for granted that, you know, how these tools you have now.
Yeah.
Because believe me, it wasn't that easy back then. You didn't have Waze, and you were always lost, and you had a map, and everyone was on some crazy chemical, and you know, it was just crazy. You know,
it's a different adventure now, isn't it?
Yes, it's an adventure. But I'm saying, like, I'm like, wow, blown away that. Although the other side of it is there's so much technology and so much coming so quickly that people can't even have time to learn it or process it. It's like, oh, okay, what is this? Every day it's something new, you know? It's like, it's all good stuff, but I think we get a little overwhelmed with it, you know? It's like...
We do. Yeah, though it's easier to get your stuff out there, it's harder to get recognized because there's such a plethora of whatever you're doing out there also. And you might think you're new and original, but a quick Google search and you find out, we're not as special as we had hoped.
Well, the other thing is, like, if I put my music online and people can download it, and I get, you know, 2 pennies or 99 cents or whatever, a fraction of that, it's like I've had a ton of downloads, but I get nothing for it. You know, it's like, and I think even big artists are having this problem where they have tons of downloads and they don't get any money for it. That's why they have to go on the road and sell $50 T-shirts. You know, it's all about merch now.
Right.
It's just, it's hard for people.
So what's the answer?
The answer, I don't know. If I had the answer, I'd be rich.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I think I don't know. I struggle with this. I mean, because people are like, "Oh, you're putting out a CD? Whoa, that's like old. Like, why are you doing a CD? Nobody gets CDs." And I'm like, because I can't afford to press vinyl. Like, I can't believe vinyl is even back. You know, I still have tons of vinyl
at $30 an album.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah, isn't it?
And they don't even skip. You know, like, I want records that skip because that's all mine still. They've been played to death. So I don't know. I mean, I figure, well, you can take the CD and put it in your computer and digitize it and put it on your thumb drive and do whatever, you know. But at least I can sell the CD or whatever it shows, you know, because it is available online, and it's good that people hear it and all. But like going back to the thing, if you're in it for the money, you're probably in the wrong line of work, you know. But you know, that being said, I guess if we work hard enough and spend enough time on it, you can squeak out a living. I don't know.
Well, the bottom line between success and not success, I don't want to say failure, but not success, it's just a matter of, are you still doing it? You know, you got to keep going. Quitting, you'll never win. It's 30 if you're lucky, says Des in reference to the albums, and most new computers don't have CD drives. I like a CD, and I don't know why, because, you know, I take them, put them on my computer, they're in my electronic playlist that I put on my phone or whatever. But I'm still stuck on, I want to buy a CD. It's also something, you know, the band can sign if you're picking it up at a live performance. It's a memento, not just a piece of music.
And a lot of times you can't play digital if you don't have internet.
That's true.
Or from one place to another, like from your phone to your car. I have CDs in my car. I'm still one of those.
Yeah. So, what were you about to say there, Ray?
I was just listening.
Okay.
I think I was going to say something, but I forgot what it was.
It's okay. I tell you what, let's play Pill Hill. Now, you mentioned all kinds of chemicals. Is Pill Hill a chemical reference?
Oh, those are bad chemicals. This is a song about healthcare and lack of it. There's a place in Atlanta where there's a hospital and doctor's office, and they call it Pill Hill because it's on a hill. So I always thought that was just a catchy title, and I wrote this a while back, actually. But it's funny because the drummer that's playing with me, she didn't know there was an actual place in Atlanta called Pill Hill. And so she'd been playing the song, and somebody said to her, unrelated to the song, "Oh, yeah, that's up on Pill Hill." She goes, "What are you talking about? That's Ray's song." So she was thoroughly confused that there was a place called Pill Hill. I had to explain it to her. I said, "Yeah, it's this place."
Okay.
So anyway.
You could go on. I don't want to cut you off.
Oh, no.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's... you know, that's just play it. It speaks for itself.
Here we go, guys.
Tell me please, can't you figure out what it is I need?
I really do like your sound. It's fun.
Thank you.
And it's got that underlying, I don't know, edge, dark feel, but it's not prevalent. It's a subtext.
It's happy music with unhappy lyrics.
A little bit, yeah. So let me ask you this one. Okay.
Yeah.
So Talk of the Tavern propels you to the top. Suddenly people are calling you. You've got a world tour. Map out your world tour. Where would you want to go?
I want to go to Japan. I haven't been to Japan. I want to go to Sweden. I'd like to go to Italy, all over Europe. And then, see that for me, I play most of the states, so it's less exciting for me to to play in places you played before. So, yeah.
Is there any great houses out there that you just like, that's a place I want to play because it's just the history of it or the architecture? And by the way, comment from the audience, Des says, great stuff.
Oh, yeah? Cool.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are. I mean, I tend to like old theaters and stuff. I always thought the ideal career would be, I was never one to be like, oh, I want to play big stadiums or be that famous or successful. I always thought if you could play consistently in smaller theaters and keep that going, I would be happy. You know, that's hard because a lot of people, you know, end up playing just small clubs, but you know, that's hard too. Somewhere in between the stadiums and the clubs, you know, like you get cool theaters if you know, that hold like 2,000 people or something, you know.
I've always felt
I'm sure
go on.
I'm sure every town that has one. I'm not familiar with every single one of them, but you know, for me, ideally, that's what I would like in a music career, you know. But
I've always liked a smaller crowd, you know, if 2,000 is small, as opposed to the huge one, because I don't know, you've got the big audience feel, but you still have an intimate feel also. It's a nice blend of the two together instead of I've got a faceless crowd. I don't even know how many people are out there. The lights are in my eyes, and that sort of thing. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, smaller places are definitely better, you know. And I'm not a big fan of outdoor festivals. I mean, it's just for me the sound is never quite right. It's like the advantage is you might be able to get to see like 4 great acts that you want to see in one show.
Right.
But you know, you got to deal with crowds and the heat, you know, whatever the circumstance. And it just seems that outdoor shows, the sound is never quite right. You know, it just goes with the wind. It's like comes back, and I don't know.
You actually have acoustics instead of just blowing the sound out into the big air.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I've seen some good shows at festivals, but I'm just not a huge fan of them, you know. But I know there are people that strictly go to like the festivals and they camp out, you know, or whatnot. But
especially in Europe,
I don't know. Yeah, that's true. And Pink Pop and all these things, and they sit in the mud for 4 days. And
yeah, a lot of my UK friends, every festival story involves mud.
Yeah, that's part of it, right?
It is.
It's like,
and they're sleeping in tents and stuff. You know. And I'm like, wow, good for you. I'd rather have a bed at night, but that's me at this point.
Well, I would bring my couch with me. I would have a ship and put in the mud so I could feel at home and just be, yeah.
Or you could put it straight on stage and play from your couch.
That's one way to do it.
Yeah, I'm like, I know it's going to cost a little bit more, but we got to do this.
So, as long as they don't have the where they've got to lock it away for 3 months to make sure your couch doesn't have any viruses.
Oh, my couch is virus free, I can assure you. But I could go to IKEA or something or just buy one. Maybe I could rent a couch. I don't know if I'd want to rent one. I'd just buy one over there.
You could. Then you can give it away at the end of each show, and somebody could take a couch souvenir home signed by you.
Yeah,
but there you go.
Yeah, we're giving away Gray's couch. No, we're not. It's just a promo, but you don't actually get the couch.
That's right.
Yeah. So, But if there's anybody, promoters or booking people listening in Europe or Japan, and you have a festival, I'd be glad to play it. I'll even come without the couch.
If you must.
That out there. Yeah, I mean, I'll do what I got to do.
Then you have to have the bowl of blue M&Ms, though. No couch, you get the blue M&Ms.
Oh yeah, that's right. M&Ms, yeah.
It's
I have to think of my special backstage food.
That's right, that crazy thing.
It's impossible to find.
I looked at a list of that, the different stars and the stuff they require, and some of it was pretty reasonable. And generally, it was the older rockers that had a reasonable list. We want this alcohol, and we want bottled water and fried chicken. Something like that.
Yeah, you don't want crap alcohol.
Some of these pop stars, though, and I don't remember if it was Beyonce or who it was, but some of them, they're like, I want the whole room shrouded in white, and I want these type of flowers, and if not that, here's a secondary flower, and I need 13 bottles of this sparkling water, and that only, and then I need 42 cans of soda for my crew. Some of the stuff was incredible what they would ask for, and
wow, that's big.
So people know when they book us, I just require a bathroom that's not open to the whole public.
That'd be good. A private bathroom.
Yeah, actually the club I'm doing my release at, CD release, has one of those bathrooms backstage. It does not have a lot, so it's like that. Yeah, it's not fun.
Good times. You get to meet new people.
I know. Yeah, and not the way you want to either.
No.
Like, okay, get out of my bathroom.
Yeah. Don't the men's room rule? Don't talk to me, and especially don't stand here in front of me while I'm. Oh man, it's by the way.
Don't use your phone. That's the worst. Hey, what are you doing in there? Talking? Oh, the guys are on their phone. I'm like, I don't know. I don't even want to know about that.
I don't think I've experienced that. People on their phone.
You have? I did the other day. I was at Target, and a dude was on the phone and speaking in Spanish even, like yapping away. And I was just like, you're not supposed to do that. There's an unspoken rule.
No.
Yeah, no.
I'm that guy. When I'm on the phone with somebody and I hear that bathroom echo, I call him out on it. I'm like, you're in the bathroom, aren't you? I can hear the echo. There's porcelain all around you, man. I don't know about that. By the way, Des says mid-range venues are the best ones to go to, in my opinion, as well. I don't like the amphitheaters.
Excellent.
Yeah,
he's on my team.
Yeah.
I like the ones where it's not too big, where you have millions of people, but it's small enough to where you can feel the drum beats.
Yeah.
You can feel the bang.
Yeah.
Now, tell you what. There's what?
Go ahead.
No.
I was going to say they have these around the country now, but they're called the city wineries, which I guess a lot of the older acts that I guess they're paying them a lot of money because they charge a lot to get into them. And there's one here, and it's just it's not a great room for rock and roll. I'll tell you that. It's like awkward, like. You have to go in there and sit with people you don't know, and they have white tablecloths, and they're like pushing wine on you because it's the winery, and it's just really awkward. Like you go to a show, you just want to like go up to the stage or do whatever you do. I'm like, but to have to sit at a table, especially with people you don't know, it's really awkward. And they're like, "More water, sir." What is that in Clockwork Orange, where he's like, "More wine," and no, I'm just here to see the band. But anyway.
Maybe a brewery. That'd be a better place for you. Play at the
brewery. I don't know. I mean,
with no tables, maybe a bar and then open space.
Yeah, I mean, it's my advice at the club, and I'm not slamming the club. Like, I'll go play there if you have me. But I'm saying this is constructive criticism. So
I'm with you. I can agree with that. It's
I want my own club that just has couches everywhere.
Europe, apparently, a lot of clubs have couches.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, they should.
That more laid back, relaxed feel. You just worry about who sat on it last, and that's your biggest worry.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Unless they're like grandma's couch and covered with plastic.
Oh, I'm Italian, so I know that well.
And the doily on top of it.
Italian. My grandmother, my Nana in Philly, not only were the couches covered, but even covered, you couldn't sit in them. It didn't make any sense. And then there was a plastic runner on the carpet that you had to stay on the plastic. You couldn't put your foot on the carpet. And it was crazy because, like, well, why have the couch if you can't sit in it?
It's like a guest couch. It's only visiting. Don't mess it up.
Yeah, and she was constantly, all she did was clean. It was like, she just cleaned everything, even if it wasn't dirty. So, kind of entertaining. But
Windex on the couch, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see.
I don't know if that's an Italian thing or just a thing.
I think it's an era. I think it's that
an error.
No, era. ERA.
Yeah, I got it.
It's no. What was your last gig that you did?
The last gig, that was. I played an acoustic show for a political candidate here running for office that asked me to come help them out. And I don't do a lot of acoustic shows, so I was like, okay, because I don't know, acoustic people tend to tell a lot of stories, which I can do, but it's awkward playing acoustic, and just because I don't do it a lot, I think.
Right.
I like to have the band, and I'm like playing. I'm like, where's the drums? Where's the drums? You know, because I'm used to that. And
right.
I just feel naked. And I guess when all that kind of came along with MTV, they did the Unplugged and all. And I guess it's still fairly popular. Like, there's a club in town called Eddie's Attic here that they do mostly that. I haven't actually played there probably because I don't do acoustic shows, but they have a sign on the wall that says, "No talking, it's a listening room." Like, it's very threatening, you know, and you go in there and it's just real quiet and, like, I don't know. It's not really my scene, you know, but not to slam acoustic singer-songwriters.
Right.
They're fine, but it's...
Does everybody snap when they're done?
I don't know what they do. Yeah, it's like they politely clap.
Yeah.
They shake their jewelry, as John Lennon said, you know.
Yeah, it's, you don't want a room to ignore you and you be background, but I don't know, the feel of where they can't do anything but watch you is, I don't know. To me, it feels a little intimidating. Like, it's not natural. It's you're an exhibit instead of a experience.
Like you're in a zoo, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna have a 3-hour show here, Ray. We're just gonna stare at you. You talk.
That's what it's like. That's why I don't do it.
And then
I'm
everyone's
like, I got an acoustic guitar. Okay, fine. So that thing was outside at someone's house. It was fine, but I prefer to have the rock band.
Yeah. Fill the room with the sound. Make it bounce the walls. And
partly because I'm deaf, so I'm like, I can't hear anything. I need to have loud drums and bass so I can pretend I know what's going on. You know.
That's right. So, how about the runaround? You want to tell us a bit about that, and we'll throw that up here?
Oh, sure. That's kind of a bitter. Yeah, it's a bitter song about the music business.
Sweet.
You basically, like, you do all this stuff and you get the runaround, you know. It could apply to any kind of field, I suppose.
You could relate it to job hunting.
Yeah, job hunting, anything. I mean, you know, you get the runaround, you know, you get the answer. So I like this one. It's kind of Who sounding to me, you know, kind of mod. You know, I'm an old mod. I waited till I was 40 to get a scooter, but still a mod. I will always be one. No. So there you go.
Let's give it the run around or something. Horrible segue. Be back. we go. The runaround. Yep, I can feel that.
Excellent.
It's now let me ask you. In the future, when I'm doing Tuesday Tunes and I don't have a guest and I'm just rolling some music, are you absolutely cool with me playing your music for people?
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
You can do it.
That way it's...
I give you my blessings.
Beautiful.
Play
beautiful
my song.
Then if you ever get rich and famous, you can call me and go, quit playing my stuff. Stop it.
Yes. Stop it.
Kathleen Turner said so.
Kathleen Turner, yeah. Her lawyer husband's going to get you.
That's right. Will he be a guest on the show while he presents papers? That'd be okay. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you know. He hasn't come after me yet, so I think.
So you ever have anybody just totally fanboy over or fangirl over you, just go crazy and wild?
That's a strange question.
Is it?
I don't know. You mean like stalker-esque? Or
yeah, I didn't actually go that far, but
yeah,
maybe it's. I mean, whatever's the story is there. It's whether it's the panties on stage, somebody just like can't speak and they're just like or they're in your bushes and what the hell.
No, I mean I have people that like what I do and tell me that. I had someone. I get weird compliments like. This girl came up and said you sounded like Ace Frehley. I'm like, okay, that's not crazy, but it was weird. It was like, okay, I just didn't know how to take it. I was like, thank you.
I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, I was like, you mean Space Ace of Kiss? Yeah,
that's what I'm.
It's. But as far as being crazy, I don't know. Like, I mean, the Night Porters had some. I mean, we were young, and the girls were our age, so we had a lot of girl fans, and they were kind of,
like when girls were with the Beatles, right? You ever have that?
Well, some of them would scream really loud in this weird pitch, and was like weird when you're playing at some punk club. It's like, okay, so I guess that's when we had fans like that. I don't know.
Okay.
But you don't really get that now. I mean, but we had quite a few girls like that would scream. They would do these weird screams like, I don't know.
Good enough.
I don't know how to explain it.
Good enough.
But
I always am amazed by how different somebody's speaking voice is from their stage voice, whether it's announcing stuff or, of course, the singing voice. We've seen so many people who have.
Well, like Ozzy, he sings and you can understand him, but he talks and he mumbles. So
yeah, that's kind of weird.
It's but you definitely have a different singing, which is normal. People don't normally sound like they speak when they're singing.
Yeah, I sing higher than I speak.
You do. I'm listening for you to drop in that lower range that you were talking about earlier.
Well, I have some of the songs, but they're just not on the stuff that you have.
Gotcha. So do you have a favorite child in your music?
A favorite child of my songs?
Yeah.
I don't know if I have a favorite one. I mean, it depends on the day, and I don't know. It's like I said, like that one guy played some older song of mine. I was like, oh, that's a good song.
I remember that.
But I don't really, I don't have a favorite. I just kind of generally like the vibe of the collective songs, I guess, So I don't know, I like these songs on the new CD a whole lot.
It's a good set, man.
Yeah, thanks. I'm excited about it, because sometimes you're like, but it's a good feeling when you're really excited about the CD and stuff. So
you write them all?
Yeah, except for the Rolling Stones song, which you could play if you want. The Koch sings on it.
Child of the Moon.
I've always been been a big Stones fan. I met Keith and Ronnie before, and that was really cool. It was like I felt like their bastard unknown son in a weird way, and Ronnie was still drinking then, and I don't know if you've seen that impression that Mike Myers does of him on Saturday Night Live when he's like, you can't understand him. And he's like, well, he's exactly like that. I couldn't understand a word he said. And all I could think of was that impression. I was trying not to laugh. And the drinking, and between that and his accent, I couldn't understand. Keith, of course, you would think would be like that. And he was completely fine, like understood everything and lucid and very on the ball, and pouring me drinks of cranberry and vodka, drinks, and I was really nervous though because I'm such a huge fan. You hear all these stories. You're like, what's going to happen to me backstage? I'm not going to live through this, but it was okay.
It's I think we all actually kind of want one of those stories.
It was kind of like that, They lived up to. They were really nice and lived up to my expectations, but it's really sucks as if you meet one of your heroes and they're just kind of like and they let you down and they're rude to you, and it's like, oh, I still like you but not as much. Or like, I don't know,
No, I've seen that at different places that I've gone where I've ran across a star of whether it's movies or television, and they're just like, are we done yet? Can I go back to my room? Oh my God, no, I don't shake hands. I don't even fist bump. Don't touch me. Let's take this picture. Get out of here. And I'm like, wow, that's a bummer. I'm sorry to hear you're that way. You don't say it to them, of course. You don't be like, well, kind of a jerk, aren't you? But, you still want to love their stuff, but you just don't have that.
Yeah, but you got to feel how they might really be in real life.
Yeah.
It's like, unless they're just having a bad day or something, which is understandable, but they could be like that all the time, and
absolutely. As I mentioned, a lot of creative people are naturally introverted. So to be put in these public situations where they have to deal with this just constant bombardment of people around them, yeah, I get it. But it's those people that buy your stuff.
Yeah.
It's one thing if you are bombarding them while they're trying to have lunch at a restaurant, or if they're at an event where you pay for an autograph.
That's true.
You got to think of the situation too.
That's a fair point. Yeah. So Ray, if we harass you and you're having your salad course, we understand if you're a little bitchy. But if you're doing autograph, I have tomatoes. Get away.
Well, I'm actually I'm gluten free, not because it's trendy and all, because I have celiac disease, so it makes me really sick, and so if you interrupt me when I'm eating my gluten free meal, you'll never hear the end of it. Okay, I'm just warning you now. No, I never want to be one of those people. Like I'm like totally laid back all the time, but
absolutely.
Especially to people that like take the time to come up and say, "Hey, I like your song," or because why else do you do this? You don't.
Right.
It's not like you make a lot of money. You go out there and that's what you do it for. Is like it's nice to get someone to acknowledge
that there's a connection, that you made a difference.
Yeah. Instead of me at night going, my songs are the best ever.
You could be the Gollum of the music scene.
Yeah. It's like,
my precious.
I am the best. And I have a mirror and I look into it and say, no, I don't,
You could request that on your weird backstage stuff. I need a large 3-way mirror that, I can just gaze upon myself.
Don't ask why.
And sit on my couch and look at me.
Yeah, that's what I do. I mean, really. No, I usually fall asleep pretty quick. I'm like, get that couch and
naps.
Yeah, no, so yeah. There is a difference, like, if they're eating their food and whatnot. But
here's a question from Madam Perry. Do you give your band members directions on how to dress for gigs?
Ooh.
Are you like, I want you all in the half shirts and torn jeans, or wear your Daisy Dukes this week?
No, that's a band name right there, the half shirt. Like everyone have a half shirt.
With our pale pasty bellies sticking out.
Shirts and skins.
There's a band name.
Well, I don't know what Jennifer's saying, but yeah, it's weird to have a band and Like, hopefully they're on the same page and they show up something looking like they're on the same band.
Do you give them a dress code?
Like, he's at the wrong gig or whatever, Yeah. And I don't tell people what to wear. I just expect them to be like, hey, Ray's look is like, you don't have to look that way, but just be cool, whatever that means. I don't know. Or be really not cool.
That's right.
See if that blends. I don't know.
Yeah, dress like Madonna. He likes that.
No, that's not me. I didn't dress like Madonna.
No. You dress like you, but your whole backup band could be like there's Madonna, there's David Bowie, and there's one of the iterations of Freddie Mercury all behind you.
That's my band, the Ray of Lights. That, it's going to be just a bunch of people dressed up like Madonna. I don't know.
They could all dress like Madonna from different albums, and they'll all look different.
Now you're on to something.
Now with 15
and
minutes,
RuPaul could be involved in that.
RuPaul needs to be the MC for your show.
It would. It's funny because I saw on YouTube, and I don't even remember being there, but we were backstage at the Danceteria in New York, which is the club in the 80s, and there's this weird video of Andy and me from my old band, and we're backstage with RuPaul, and it's just us talking, and the funny thing is I don't remember anything about being there. So I'm like, was I actually there? Yeah, I was like,
You could be one of the professional Ray impersonators. There's a lot of those.
Well, it's just weird about YouTube because nobody had video cameras back then, but I guess some people did because there's a video of it.
Tell you what, let's do Child of the Moon real quick before we get too far, because we got 15 minutes left, so I want to make sure I play it for you. Otherwise, I'll chat the whole time. So let's do Child of the Moon, then we can talk about that, and we'll wrap everything up. Okay? Cool. You still doing all right, man?
I'm hanging in here. I'm good.
Okay, here we go.
So that's Katja Royden singing backup on that one too. Thank you for her doing that. I think she sounds good.
Absolutely. You put together a good album, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what's your June 1st? Tell us about that again. When, where? Give some details for folks.
Oh, June 1st at the Earl in Atlanta, which is in East Atlanta. We're doing a CD release show. It's my band, Ray Dafrico, and his band. Let's see, Kenny Howes and the Wow, Catfight, and a new band called the Wussy Pillows is going to be playing.
That's a fun name.
I believe that's Pussy Willows backwards. So they will be opening, so it should be a fun night. So come on down if you're in the area, and it's June 1st, and I'll have the CDs for sale, and there you go. And hopefully we'll be doing some other shows and coming up north maybe, and if this summer, I haven't actually booked stuff yet, but I'm working on it. So,
Got your pocket full of quarters?
Quarters, oh yeah, I got to hit those tolls.
That's right. I meant for the phone booth to go out and book your gig.
Oh yeah, that too, yeah. Now they have Easy Pass, and I was getting the wrong lane, and I go back to Georgia, and I get a bill for like $400. You went through the Easy Pass, and I'm like, I didn't know it was the Easy Pass. So there. It was like
tolls.
Georgia, Yeah, the tolls.
Yeah.
Like,
there's a bad name.
The tolls.
Yeah. It's Andrew, would you post a link for his website again, please?
I would, but because my internet, I haven't been on Twitch for a little bit. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'll grab it. I'll post it up. No big deal. Easy peasy. Let's make sure we get him as much visibility from everybody as possible. Let me grab that link and throw it up here.
And there's also older music available on the website.
Good. From some of your previous iterations?
Yes.
You've got some beautiful afternoon sun coming in there, don't you?
Yeah, am I being... Yeah, I guess... geez, yeah.
It's all good. They've seen you for a little bit. They're all right. It's...
I don't know, it might melt. It might be...
That's what it is. It's your natural glow, man.
It's something. It's radioactive glow, gamma rays coming in from...
You do kind of resemble Mark Ruffalo, who plays the Hulk now. So there we go.
Oh, cool.
There we go.
Well, don't get me when I get mad, which is never. When I do, I turn into the Hulk. So, like the shirt rips and.
See, if you do that on stage, somebody will fangirl over you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they like that. I don't know. They'll be like, "Aren't you Gene Sim? No, who's that? Ace Frehley? You're like Ace Frehley." I was like, "Well, that is better than Gene." So
I guess so.
I guess I don't know who your favorite Kiss member is, but
I don't know if I actually have a favorite.
Yeah, okay, maybe you don't like Kiss.
No, I do like Kiss, but I'm one of those guys because I like so many things. I don't hyper focus on one thing about anything really. I'd say. I enjoy the different experiences. So. Well,
he had the best solo record, But
no, I didn't. But he'll appreciate you plugging it.
Yeah, he did that great version of New York Groove. And then I think that band, the Melvins, copied that of the solo records, which I thought was pretty brilliant. Beat me to it again. See,
there you go. See that
these ideas and people take them, and now I'm being blinded by
Blinded by the Light. That was a good song.
I guess
wrapped up like a what?
Yeah, exactly. That's still nobody knows. It's better left unsaid.
It is because I don't imagine why you'd put the two things together. Hey, Toei joined us right for the end. Hey, Toei, thanks for making the kitty.
Hi, Toei.
It's
who are you gonna raid? Do you have someone to raid after the show? Since I'm not on Twitch, I can't really keep up with it. We need to find someone to raid.
Raid? See, on Twitch, when you finish your broadcast, you can set it up so everybody on your channel watching you is transferred over to somebody else's channel to watch somebody else. Now, actually, everybody I follow, nobody has a live broadcast, but Lady Adarissa has a replay, a vodcast going on. So we'll knock it over to her and say hello to her. But Ray, really, see, I'm about to call you Mark now because I said Mark Ruffalo. So I really mean you if I say Mark. But
Ray at Mark Ruffalo.
There we
That's
go.
A tweet.
They're twinsies.
I'm just learning how to tweet. I haven't done it, so
It's
but I'll take his fans and send them my way, and maybe they're.
There we go.
That's a good point. That's a good point. It's you could the Mark Ruffalo cover band.
Oh yeah.
It's Ray. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Thanks for sticking out 3 hours. It
was cool.
It's
Good
like
questions. It was fun, and do it again sometime, hopefully.
Absolutely, yeah. If you need to, if you've got something else coming out or you're doing a tour, let us know. Come on back on, and we'll let folks know and everything. So, other than that,
hopefully I can get up there and play sometime soon. So,
yeah.
But cool. Thanks for having me, and have a good rest of your day. And I'm gonna melt away now
in the sunlight. You got it. Okay, good.
That would be a great exit. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll wait. You do that for us. We're watching.
Yeah.
And there you go. He's gone all Wayne's World on us.
Okay.
Guys, don't forget, tomorrow, join us for Wednesday Geekery. We're doing a whiskey tasting over at Ed's, so join us for that. And Thursday, we have Ramirez.
And it's my birthday.
Yes, it is her birthday.
Happy birthday.
Tomorrow. See, you're a birthday present to her. It's
cool.
You did mention rapping earlier. I think you meant the musical kind, not the gift kind, but whatever. We'll work with it.
Well, I'll send you something, so I'll figure out something cool.
There we go. And let me start up the raid here, and we're going to go into our outro music, and then we'll get you over to Lady Adarissa. Thanks for joining us in the discussion.
Thanks, everybody.
Tonight. You are the one thing that makes the show what it is. Don't forget to join us at the Tavern next week. Until then, have fun, keep learning, and be good to one another. Now, raise your glass in good cheer. Enjoy the small moments every day, and steamy dreams every night.